Oh, is it working?
As in, is the stream
Oh
on?
no.
No.
It's not working.
Oh,
Sad.
there it is. Never mind. It's good. Hello.
Oh, all right. Hello, everyone. Is the stream working? I hope so.
Mm. Yeah, we can see your windows and everything.
Is it just one window or is it my entire screen?
Your
It's
entire
your entire
screen.
desktop.
All right. uh, hello, everyone who's watching. This is my first ever stream on this channel, and in general, I think that I'm actually hosting. So yeah, this is the Live a Hero tier list stream. You might make this a two-parter since there are, a lot of characters to rate. Um, so say hi to Milk Hosamo and Archandale, aka the English Hosamo
They're
archive.
telling you to get closer to the mic.
Ah. Anyways, yeah, say hi to Milk Hosamo and the English Hosamo archive.
Hello.
I'll say hello, I guess.
Mhm.
So, do you guys have the same tiers as I do right now? Just making sure that it's consistent for everyone.
Let me get it up, but it should be the same.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same for me.
Okay. So I have actually made a written tier list for the 5 stars in this game already, but I haven't done like one for all the characters, including the 4 stars and 3 stars. So we will be working on that today, as well as getting some input from other people who play the game as well. So hopefully the tier list names are kind of self-explanatory. You got your S plus tiers for the uber broken, super fucking stupid as hell kits, and then you have you know a varying spectrum of usefulness until you get to the forgotten tier where you don't ever see these characters be used ever because they're bad. So I think how I want to start this is because tier lists kind of are easier to work with if you have benchmarks for each tier. Is that we'll each take turns propping up a unit who we think is like the epitome for one of these tiers. And then once we're done with like having each character in one tier, we'll just sort of go down the list for characters by release date, probably. So I guess I can go first. So I'm gonna start with where is he? I'll start with Anniversary Pub. So Pub is a very popular character, right? Uh, he's a very beginner-friendly character. He does a lot of damage very easily, and he has mediocre wave clear and some built-in healing, assuming that he generates enough combo from other allies. The issue with Pub is that he has no extra action economy, right? So compared to, Samurai Alpheka, who just attacks every turn, uh, Pub can only do damage on his own turn, and he can only attack. Uh, yeah, he can only do damage on his own turn, so he has no ways of pushing for extra damage outside of his turn, right? Uh, he doesn't excel that much in burst damage either. There are a lot of characters who straight up outclass him in terms of raw damage, but he is the most accessible when it comes to, burst DPS. Okay. Do you guys have any other opinions on this guy?
No, I think A tier is like pretty solid because it's kind of like he's like a combo character, but like in quotes, because it's like he has the easiest conditional for his damage, but they replace that, they counter that by just making his damage just not really have that much scaling. So it's just kind of like, yeah, all the new players coming in on his banner, they can easily use him. It's not too complicated. It's not like he has his partners aren't like some other 5-star. But and I think in terms of clearing the game, it's like if you're not trying to like explode everything in 2 turns, then Anniversary Pub will do the job and is able to clear basically like all content I say, but he doesn't do it very flashy or fast. And he doesn't have that meme potential. So I think A tier is fine.
Yeah.
I th- yeah, I
So
think he's like, oh, you can go.
yeah, I was gonna mention that he does have like this enhancement system, right? Where you build combo, and then it will enhance his abilities to give extra effects. Like his first skill will get extra healing, uh, and his second skill, gives him a bigger damage boost on the turn after he uses it. The problem is that these don't give him. He doesn't have an opportunity to use these when you can just use his third skill and just do more damage than everything else. Um, and the other issue is that he straight up loses his ability to generate more combo when his first skill is upgraded. So it's really worth using that as well as like a synergy option. Like you can finish your thing, Milk.
Okay. You sounded like you're gonna talk more. Um, I think he's kind of like ether based Toshu.
Well,
Really?
Like you just spam his S3 that's kind of dependent on combo, as a single target DPS.
Oh
But
yeah,
it's
in that
like,
department, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like that's pretty much what everybody uses him for. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna use Xio's sidekick active, and then he's gonna use his S3 after I do big chain of attacks. And it's like, it actually kind of reminds me of that early game, um, base Kyoichi shilling that one guy in LaH Chord used to do. But yeah, you know, it's 275%. Or was it 275 or 270? I think it's 270.
It's
Yeah.
270%.
And it's like, did we not just have like Denebra recently that has like 400% at the cap or something? So yeah. Um I think A tier is fine. I think
Yeah.
it I think he's just like kind of like not really doing anything in this meta at the moment where everybody's running around with like passives that actually matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Denebra is like 300%.
It's so sad
Yeah.
though, because I like his
So,
fit so much.
No, it
mm,
increases to 400 when you upgrade him. But yeah,
I
I
will
think Pup
say,
is fine,
yeah.
but he's not like the best at the moment.
I will say that like, well, I don't think it's like a knockdown, but it's just like annoying part. I just really don't like how you have to hard cast his S1 for healing. It's like really like you can't just chain that with another person. You have to hard cast that.
Yeah, the fact that you have to
You
actually
sh-
use his own
okay.
turn to heal and not like have it proc off of a follow-up effect is awful.
Well, that hardcast S1 is for Barrel when we talk about him.
All right, so I think that's it for Mr. Pub. So one of you two can offer up another character that you think is the epitome of another tier. Hopefully, in something
Hmm.
different.
Yeah, I have an idea. I want to put base Toshu in B, and I think it's kind of important that we kind of set this because I feel like base Toshu is just like the passable, like just it does damage here.
Really?
There's like way better options, but like, well, actually,
I'm not
better
sure
Toshi.
if I agree with that, but I'll let you finish.
I don't know. It's like, what is it? 270 to 300. Actually, kind of lower cost or higher cost. Actually, I'll bump it up to like. Actually, we are comparing those two. Honestly, yeah, just put them in A. Yeah, why not? If we're like
In
really
A,
comparing the, it's like, I
there
guess
is a
Toshi
tier
does
between
300%.
A and B, by the way, and it is B plus. That does
B
exist.
plus, right? I was wondering. Yeah, sure, B plus. I guess that works. For if we had to pick, I'm trying to think of a tier that works well with just like baseline combo DPS.
Okay, yeah.
You know, like that one meme that you made that was like all combo DPS are either Barrel or Toshu. I'm trying to find that perfect spot where we
Oh,
could set like the baseline standard for all those DPS.
actually, I'll do it on my phone.
So like,
But yeah, while we're
I
at
think
it,
Pub kind of gets. Hmm?
I do think he is just the single target version of Barrel, so I'll put them together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I think that's fine.
Pub is just like uh light Toshu, and light Toshu is just the single target version of base Barrel, which makes sense. um, they're not gonna go much higher. They don't have that much utility, but they are kind of the benchmark for like usable 4-star DPS characters. But yeah. Do you have anything
Yeah,
to add, Milk?
No, I thought B plus was fine for Toshu. Like, he's just like a little worse than Pub just because that VP cost actually kind of matters. It's like
Mm,
quite
mm,
expensive.
yeah. I was thinking about it because it was like you either have 270 for you have Pubs 270% for 5 combo and for 7.5k cost versus 300% for uh 300% for 11k cost at 10 combos. I'm kind of like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably a little worse,
Yeah,
at the
you
same
but
have to
time,
like
though,
B
calculate.
plus is fine.
he did get a minor upscale with the Christmas stereo in the game. One being that combo teams don't really need that much view in the first place. They actually are mostly like view positive for most of their characters, and having his S1 is like on the stronger side for like DPS in the sense that you can always make use out of defense stone, and having that on
Hmm.
like an S1 that's like super spammable is really nice. So you actually be a bit stronger than Barrel right now. I'll just do that for
Yeah,
you.
I think that's fine.
I think view is less of a problem in combo teams if it's Summer Alpheka.
Okay,
Mm,
what's Summer Alpaca? That's like a
Once you
whole
like take
different
him out,
thing.
then because I was like trying to do some combo stuff, without him, and then I'm like, oh, I'm actually kind of running out of view when I don't have him because his extra attack triggers view. So I don't disagree, but with like the summer stereo, I mean not summer, but like the stereo variant assessment, it's just that I think you also have to do like some finagling with stereo in order to reach that condition. Like, put some like view passives on him.
mm, I can see that.
But like by itself, I think Toshi's still like a tier one unit, so B plus is still pretty good for that.
Yeah, he's held up pretty well despite everything.
Hmm.
Uh okay, I'll just suggest a character to put on. I think Grigori is kind of interesting. I kind of want to put him at like A tier.
A tier?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I think I put that in my initial tier list as well for him.
I don't really have like a reason for like, picking Grigori first out of like everybody. Other than that, he's just like kind of this like weird um like consistent spot as like this like cheap 4-star to just have on your team when you like don't know what to do and you need to like heal and remove debuffs. And he's
Hmm.
just like very useful and like perma. Yeah.
Right. So,
He's not outstanding, but he's like kind of omnipresent in this game between his perma and his like sidekick passive.
right. I think in my one like mini combo guide, I said that he's actually one of the better combo engines in the game due to the fact that he gets 2 actions per turn with his S2, which means that he can more effectively abuse Tabit's sidekick passive, which will allow him to roll for an extra combo gain after each turn. And when you use that with the combo accelerators like LaH and the new LG variant, uh, he actually can like get like maybe 5 combo per turn pretty consistently, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I've been like running those tap it Visk passives as like memes. And I haven't really been using Grigori recently, but I can see the vision.
Yeah, I think he's kind of fallen a little out of favor due to Bard Danzo's inclusion into the game, but he does have like the only like Omni debuff removal in the game that's like actually good and not garbage like Rock does.
Well, I mean, Shidamasu's Shide's is like I like it. It's just attached to his kit, but
Nobody's running
it's
Shidemos
I'm
outside of like, yeah.
but like it's
I
a
mean
if you look
no
at the
no no
skill
Art.
itself,
I mean a skill
it's
that removes
fine.
all debuffs on a person, not just
Oh, that.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
A tier is fine though.
yeah.
I like him for budgets. It feels like cheating, but it doesn't break my
The
rules.
biggest downside with him is the fact that his S2 is a little pricey at a 6K base VM cost. So you
Yeah.
usually have to think about like what sidekick active you want to run on him as well, which does make him in a way a bit more flexible, but also a little more demanding if your roster isn't quite built.
But I think that's fine. It's like he's able to use his sidekick pretty freely, so I think that's just like extra bonus points because we're considering this tier list with basically endgame in mind. So
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
All right. That's enough Grigori for me. Who else? Who else? Let's move on to Bard Donzo. Bard
Ooh.
Donzo is a pretty easy S tier for me. He is actually like one of the strongest characters in the game, possibly like top 5 supports in general. I think. He kind of just does everything that you want from a support. He has automatic healing that you don't have to use your turn for, and the healing also acts as a cleanse as well, which is pretty crazy. Uh, he has an he has a passive that increases your team's damage just for like generating view. He also has like one of the strongest S3s in the game. Being able to like apply massive speed down to everyone, and also allowing himself to like follow up with free damage after people use their action. Yeah, he's kind of cracked. He has a lot of different build options too, between like full support with heal botting or like sub DPS with defense down and aim from Gregorian Aster passives. He probably like one of my favorite designed kits in this game, to be honest.
And voltage is even in fields, so you can even run a field if you happen to go for that kind of synergy or pair.
Right. Uh, the issue that I have with him that I can't, which is why I can't recommend you higher, is that he can only use like one of these skills per each of his turn. He doesn't have like a free action like more recent releases, but he does whatever action that you do choose, they are pretty impactful, so it's not a huge deal breaker. But I will say that his first skill is probably the weakest of the bunch. It only generates a measly 1k view, even if Vertigo is one of the more unique damage amps in the game.
Hmm. To be honest, I don't think that's that much of like a downside because it's kind of like you're only going to use this S2 if you're kind of playing it slow, because that's just his heal move and recharging his harmonic out. But really, you're only looking at his S1 and S3 for
Yeah,
if you're trying to like really like deal big damage. S2 is just there to top you up
I mean
and survive.
it's a pretty good heal move. It's a lot of
It's a good
healing.
heal move,
Yeah,
but like you don't need it if you're trying to like do big do big damage.
yeah, yeah.
And if you're healing, then you're probably taking too slow to like do big damage anyway. So it's kind of like that's fine.
Mm, what do you
Is
think?
this where it pop in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think S tier is fine. I think he's kind of stupid when, if you think about like that, what is it, that 2 turn New Year's Moriyasu quest? He was like wheelchairing people as a supposed support character and then out DPSing them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, that's kind of stupid, right?
DPS Downs is like one of my favorite meme builds, but in multi-hit setups where you run like Chris Motomasa and Sentetsu, it's not even that much of a meme. He just straight up does like half of the damage output for in the team.
Yeah, because the multi-hit teams are primarily like debuff oriented, so he's just like pushing a bunch of damage.
Yeah,
And frankly, he's like one of those like problem units. I say problem units, but like it's these like units who like push extra damage outside of their turn that I don't have, which is kind of annoying to me because I don't have them. But yeah, he's like one of those people.
I think I'm gonna like throw some tickets on this banner when he comes out.
his
Why
banner is
not?
so
But
cracked.
that's
Actually, I think it's like the second most valuable banner in the game, only behind
yeah. But
Christmas workout or whatever.
really, what about I mean, I guess Choco Seeker is Gaius, but it's like, but Blom's really good too. But he's kind of just doing his own thing.
Um,
I
Like he's a
I
he
think
works with
Vlad would
Gaius
pop
obviously,
off
but like,
more
but,
if like people had him, but people
originally,
don't. Yeah.
I should probably read chat a bit, huh? Uh,
I'm reading chat and
Hmm,
yeah.
now I've got chat on the side. But I do want to take this suggestion and rank base Donzo Nest from Higa, and let's go and rank base Donzo because I think that'll be very funny.
base Donzo, you want to do that?
hmm Yeah,
Sure.
let's just go because we need to get some of these low tiers ranked, right? If we're trying to like set up benchmarks,
That's
what is
right.
this? Yeah. So what is it? If Bardonzo is S tier, base Donzo is like, my God, D.
D? Yeah, I put him in D on my initial 5-star tier list.
I think he's
What?
D
Oh,
tier, but I actually think his like view gimmick thing, like after being buffed, is kind of fun. And um he's still not good. Like I tried using him, and then you read his kit, and then you realize his S3 does like fucking 120% max.
Yeah.
Like,
And
let's
I'm
break
like,
this down.
what?
2.5k attack. They purposely set his attack on the lower end of 5 stars. Like, really?
And his
Okay,
speed
sure.
set is actually pretty bad too. It's a bit slower than average, so it's easy. It's pretty easy for him to get outsped by some enemies as well.
Like I know AoEs like are generally like undertuned, but like 60% to 120% is like fucking crazy. Like now, when we have like Reiki 4-star is doing like what 220% or something. I don't remember, but it's like
I think it was, yeah.
120%. No, you're not cutting it. That's not good. And you have to get that's like at max too. It's like no. Um, the reason why I say he's like kind of interesting is that at the moment is I think after buff might become more relevant when we have like people who's spamming team wide buffs like Stereo's variant. And
Yeah.
like he released
Mhm.
alongside Grigori, and like his passive is supposed to like offset that S2 cost with Grigori. Oh, I think he released with Grigori. I forget. But like yeah. Um so
It might have
I
been
think he's
interesting.
yeah, I
Like,
think he's
it might have been
interesting.
interesting with, like,
He just doesn't have like anything else, like no damage passive, you know,
yeah.
no way to push extra damage, no good skills.
The thing is that, like, with its passive, it's entirely selfish. Like, you have to buff Donzo, which means you are actively giving Donzo buffs to use him, and then you realize that using him is completely worthless. So it's kind of like, okay, why did I do this in the first place?
Yeah. That's why I think that his more interesting role right now is to just like be this person who offsets your VP costs, when you do a team wide buff, like Stereo's thing and like Grigori. But that's still not really that good of a role.
Mm. Okay.
Because
His
you can
most
just
interesting
like
role is acting as a bonus unit for the World Travelers event. That is the only use I've ever gotten out of
It's
him.
so sad. Nothing in his kit fucking works, dude.
I think you're just bricking your farm team, to be honest, having him in it.
Yeah.
I'm
All
keep
right. I back read some of the comments, and some people did vote for Donzo to be an S plus tier. I will say that it's actually very, very close for him to go up a tier. It's just the fact that uh there is a missing piece for view-based teams that should like increase like people's base view count or something like that to synergize with like Denabora. Um, there are like sub downsides at him that don't really exist in the S plus tiers as well. For example, if you compare him to like Valentine Gaius, who just generates so much view for like basically free, right? Whereas Bard Danzo actually needs to generate enough view to at least cast his S3. You can see that there are situations where Danzo kind of struggles to get his setup early, whereas Valentine Guys does not have too many issues with working without view batteries because he is the view battery. Just leave him here for now, actually. Uh, oh yeah, is there anything you guys wanted to talk about for base Danzo, or can we move on?
I think I got all my thoughts.
Okay.
We can move on. We shouldn't stay too long on this guy.
Okay.
But it's funny. Well, yeah. But yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Should we talk
So
about
you're
Evil
gonna put
Gaius more?
Gaius? You already put him on an S plus tier, so yeah, might as well.
All right.
You gotta
This is
benchmark this stuff.
this is the war criminal
Oh my
support in the
god.
game.
Oh, well, one of them, but we'll get to
One of
him
them, yeah.
later. But oh
So
my god, they released this OC kit.
Yeah.
They play tested this and they released this.
So
They put
Gaius's
this in the game. My
action
God.
economy is quite interesting because he has his base action, which he can do anything, and if other allies attack often enough, he can refund his action turn when using his S2. And when someone is affected by his S2 and attacks, he also gets to use his first skill for free. So you're basically getting 3 times the normal amount of fan count value as you usually would, because he's actually acting 3 times per turn. On top of that, his buffs are quite massive. He has a 30% damage multiplier on his whenever his field is up on his S3. His S2 is like so stupid. He gets another 20% damage amp on an enemy, and he gives 2 people next to him this thread dance buff, where if they attack more often and if they do like more multi hits, they can ramp this up, and it goes up to like 80% damage increase. On top of that, um, God, what was I gonna say? Yeah, right. If his field is already up, he gets more view, and if he double casts his S2, it charges the sword dance even further and also heals people. Also, they start with 1 stack of sword dance at the start of the fight, which is wow. Okay. Yeah. This kit definitely one of the more interesting ones. He's I can't believe they
You
greenlit this. It's crazy.
didn't even mention his extra action.
Thought I did.
He did say he'll act 3 times per turn.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Or
oh
like
my God, Sword Dance. Oh my God, they have Vertigo and Sword Dance on the same skill and with extra action. Jesus, they really wanted to push multi-hit. I feel like they just really heard people not really taking multi-hit seriously somehow by that point. So they were like, okay, let's just drop this broken ass character into the game and we'll force you to learn this archetype. I do like from kind of like a design perspective, I do like the how you have to place him in between 2 DPS because that kind of adds this unique restriction. Sometimes I kind of run into problems, but that's like very rarely. I feel like they set speeds very specifically so that it doesn't really you don't really run into this problem where you have to like someone's like where you just run into like speed or like speed priority problems or like something like that. But I do like how you kind of have to like set them in between, so there's kind of like this positional thought with adjacencies.
Hmm.
But they put sword dance in this game, dude. It's like you're just winning more so much, and Vertigo on the same skill. My God, you don't even need to use this field to be honest. Just as S2 plus whatever you have on your sidekick, that might be fine.
I think what pisses me off the most is the fact that you don't even need to run him in multi-hit that much. He functions very well, like in other archetypes, just because it's free damage on his S2, and it like basically pays for itself because he does an S1 anyways. He has like no weakness as a support. It's crazy. Like his only weakness is
Hmm.
that he doesn't have that much HP, but that's applies to like every support in the game, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Stupid ass
Reruns in
character.
2 months, guys. You better start thinking about pulling for this character.
do you have a march?
I do.
See, this fucking meta ass Mentaiko puller. He like
Okay, I
pulls
was
for
pulling
HNS
for.
and shit.
I was okay. H. Nessen, I was absolutely pulling for him, but like with this banner, I was doing a 50-50. I would have been fine either way with either getting Vlaham or Gaius. I would have counted that as a win either way.
This
But
fucking
getting
fave
Gaius,
saver when the meta Mentaikos show up.
okay, I'm not playing for Antares. Like that's just skippable.
He's not a meta Mentaiko.
No,
He's up there, but he's
he's
not
like
meta.
I actually confessed I've never used this unit, V-Gaius.
wow.
Really?
And the reason why is because nobody has him up. And
Everyone's too
like
selfish. They're just hoarding him for themselves.
it's like I'm gonna take what people say about him as like the truth because I've seen those dumbass videos where he's like and everybody's like one turn clear and it's like easy and then it's like okay I see that fucking Jill Obsidius V Gaius combo you got running over there units I don't have but it's like I couldn't even use them if I wanted to because like just nobody has them up. It's like everybody's still running Summer Sada, and it's like, okay,
To be
I have
fair,
my
the
own, but
to be
like,
fair, the wet slot is extremely cracked right now and pretty contested. I think we have like what Jail Obsidius in there, and then like Halloween Vulpeka Vulp. Yeah.
Hmm.
There's a lot of
no, actually, I have no Halloween Volps either. It's so weird.
Really?
It's all Summer Sada, and I'm like, why? And it's like, there's this meta ass unit, right, with Volp and Gaius. And it's like, no, it's only Summer Sada. It's like he's good, but it's like,
you're friends with too many furries. You need to diversify your friends list.
Well, Pecula's also a furry.
Oh,
I
true.
don't get it, but
But
it's
yeah,
like that's
it is a
what's
very
happening.
contested slot, and not just for meta, but also for faves, because there's Christmas Stereo. Hold on, I need a mute Discord. Anyways, yeah, I think that's enough for this creature. All right,
Mhm.
Milk, go prop someone up for a tier.
Just gonna choose somebody random or like somebody good.
You can choose
Or
anyone,
some.
preferably someone that we haven't talked about yet in one of the tiers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, let me see. Somebody that's not in a certain tier.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
about mm, a plus or
A
something?
plus. Uh, I guess that's base stereo, or maybe he's like S. I don't know. I think A plus is
Mm,
right.
no, yeah, A plus is fine because well, you can go, but I have my opinion on why he's A plus.
Yeah, I think like he's like one of the only units I have that can push extra damage outside of their turn. But to be honest, he's like not really doing that much damage. Like TPS stereo doesn't really exist. Um, I was reading his kit recently. I was kind of surprised that he actually has a passive where he like adds extra scar to people
Hmm.
because I completely forgot about that. But he's basically like the best 4-star unit you can have, I think, where hunting horn allows him to deal extra damage, apply scar to enemies, and then you get a follow up action on his S3 um for the unit you're buffing. Uh I think he's like one of the most fun units in the game as well, especially in the roguelike mode. And really just like being able to be like the only like one of the only 4-star units who can do a follow up action. I mean like cause somebody else to cast their S1 again. Just like makes him really good. So I think he's like A tier. He's not S or S plus tier with like this meta where everybody's like doing extra bullshit now. But like he's still really good. He's very solid for a perma unit.
Hmm. I actually
Well,
do
he's
think
basically the best perma unit, but yeah, for 4-star.
I actually do think that there is an argument to be made about him going to S tier, uh, simply because of how easy it is to slot him into like any team or archetype. Uh, with the high ruler build with Gregorian Astar, he has a place in burst setups, and then he obviously works with multi-hit people because of scar application, and then he also works with debuff teams as well because of scar and just providing a bunch of amps via his passives. So he's a very flexible support in that sense. Probably more than like half of the S tier and higher supports, to be honest. But I can see the
Hmm.
argument for him to be an A plus tier, but I personally think that he's an
I'm
S tier.
I'm kind of saying A plus because well, I know two turning is like basically like what's in right now and like what's expected. I do think that stereo basically being locked at two turning and that kind of being hard to change does kind of set him down a bit because like you have to go S2 S3 S2 S3 like that's kind of like that's his cycle and it's very hard to change that unless you just rely on his S3 hitting the right person, but that's just adding extra RNG to your clear.
Mm.
But yeah, that's my him being locked to that two turn cycle is kind of what makes him go to A plus for me.
All right, I can see that. Yeah, it is a problem that you can't immediately chain into S2 and then S3 on the first turn, but he is still a very good support otherwise, if you're not chasing those one turn clears. He's also very cheap to use, because his Scar application kind of refunds his own skills, because each of his follow-ups give you as well.
But I feel like if we were benchmarking, I feel like he's like the top of A plus. Like you have to beat stereo in order to reach S.
Hmm, I suppose that makes sense. Even if I think he should be higher, because dude, look at his buffs. It's fucking 30% proc rate, attack up, speed up, and he gets scarred too.
Mm.
And you run it with like
Mm.
bullshit passives like Grigori, just so much damage. Uh, hmm. Is it mine trying to prop up another character, or is it am I skipped because I put up B guys here? Uh,
uh, let's see. I have to think about what's in B plus tier or B tier. I'm also kind of like let me check because I do agree with your tier list a lot. So I'm kind of like using that as like a quick reference if I need to figure out what's like a benchmark. I guess I could rank a character I just think of for fun because I think there's like one character in your tier list I just disagree with. I could find that tier list. Where is it? Because you have where is he? You have Rexer in A plus tier, and I just disagree with that so much.
did I put him there? I thought I put him back down to A tier.
I don't think he's even an A tier. I just don't think he's good. I don't think it
Hmm.
deserves to be that high.
Hmm. All right, it's the
Like
Rexer debate.
because like okay, so his S3 deals 130%, which is like crazy low for a single target. Like it's a single target plus AoE, so it's like whatever, but his AoE only goes up to 100%, so it's not like it's matching anything. It's lower than all base percents for either single target or AoEs, so he's just doing worse damage all around. But obviously he has his reboot gimmick, but that's annoying to work with. I like it conceptually. I like the idea of using your speed as a resource you spend to increase your damage, but in practice, in actual practice, I have tried using him. I just think it's super annoying and inconvenient because it
Okay.
screws up, maybe like turn order and and he also emphasizes using Reiki passive on his slots, which means that you're just losing one. He just loses one passive. If you really want to max out reboot, you have to sacrifice one charge of reboot to use that third slot, or you use Reiki passive and you lose, and you're basically down to two offensive passives. It's like, okay, dude.
Okay, I half agree with that, but I think the speed support in this game kind of wheelchair him up, and that's kind of
Mm.
important. So he does 130 to a single enemy, and then up to 100% to other enemies, right? And I'm pretty sure that that's like out damaging Isaribi's adjacent shit too, because Isaribi's doing 70% to adjacent enemies and like 140% to a single one. So if you, uh, I think it kind of evens out with each other if you factor in like a reboot and Isaribi's like debuff advantage thing. The difference being, of course, that Rexer's supports are a little stronger with Farden and Sentetsu in the game, whereas Isaribi doesn't really have any supports. So yeah, that was my main argument for him being in roughly around A tier. So the same as like Anniversary Pub.
Mm. Okay, I actually have the Japanese wiki pulled up right now because they did do the calculations for me for like reboot charges and like what that basically equates to. And his single target damage if you have three charges of reboot goes up to 188%. I'm not that's not impressing anybody in this current meta. Like that's basically you're doing all this just for 180%.
I mean, I guess, but he still has like better wave clear than Isaribi and also the follow up
Mm.
attack. I don't know, cause I ranked like Isaribi like one tier higher than Rexter consistently, and I think they're always going to be like one tier within each other.
Um,
So I think if you place Rexer down, then I think Isaribi will also probably be placed lower as well as a result.
I mean like I'm not that impressed with Isaribi as well. He's just fine.
Yeah,
I
Gale.
think,
It's not additive. That would be too good. That would actually make him a good character.
yeah, I think, I think this unit is like fine in like low A plus tier to be honest, because you have to realize in like Harvey's tier list that A tier is like kind of chopped. Like it's like the tier with like base Polaris mask and like Shio Okitaka and like Summer Toshu. This is like these are good characters, but I think like V Rexer is like fine to be in low A plus tier when he's like one of the easier units to clear ghosts and that Reaper sim.
I don't. Is it no? Okay, I've tried using him. I don't know if it's just I'm just bad at using it, but like I actually hate using him for that quest. It was
Oh
so bad. Shocking. I mean, I know he's kind of like made for it, but he just feels like he's a boring. He feel like he just does enough for it, but he doesn't really shine in it, to be
no.
honest.
And like
Yeah.
what do you use?
Like you would rather nuke the boss than try to think of the mobs, right?
Oh, he's
And
probably
that's an honest strategy people do. Like they just like nuke the boss and just ignore the mobs altogether. While
nice.
Rexer's whole strategy with that thing is just nuking everybody, but primarily focusing on the boss because of his single target plus AoE potential. But in turn, that makes his nuke damage worse, which means he clears the boss slower.
Arkandale's using he's been corrupted by the Astar strats, where you just one shot the boss in turn two.
Exactly. Actually, I use Halloween Bolt now, but
You're disgusting. You're so gross.
I don't want to stay in that quest longer than 3 turns. That just if you stay in that if you're there for longer than 3 turns, it just becomes annoying.
He can one turn that quest, right? Volp.
Rexer or
Volp
Bolt, maybe. Maybe, but I don't have the right setup.
owned.
I don't
Yeah,
think
two
that's
turning.
Anyways,
an
It's fine by
argument for
I'm
me.
like Rexer being like bad. I think it's just an argument that Volp is fucking stupid.
I'm fine with putting Rexer like below Anniversary Pub. They're
Mhm.
they're two cheeks at the same ass.
Yeah, it's fine either way. I'm not really like that invested in the Rexer being actually, oh, he's actually that great.
Yeah.
Oh right, I should tell the stream this. Uh Arch think Rexer looks good in his accessory. Yeah.
Huh?
Oh,
Accessory.
true. Call him out on that.
Wait, the
the
accessory?
the
He's
bullshit
like, oh my
ugly ass
god,
helmet.
this monster hunter event. And he
I
was
thought he
like,
was cute, but like, I'm not saying it's a good accessory. Maybe I just said he was cute, but I don't remember my exact comment.
and he was like
There's
in
a
the mon
difference.
he was like in this event like, oh, this music is so good. And it's like this fucking
That
ass
one I am
music.
rescinding my opinion. That one I am rescinding my opinion on. That that did age badly.
It was like
I'm hearing it
this
in my
shit
head right now.
fucking
I'm like,
terrible.
it's not. I only like the story theme because I think that's pretty cool. But the battle theme is not that good.
You know that like One Piece slander cherry pie image? That's like me with this fucking volcano event music. And Arch is like saying, this music is so good. And I'm like, this music is so bad I could die.
Hey man, I used to put up Monster Hunter village themes while I was studying, so the story theme really like reminds me of that, and I love it. I also
Okay.
recommend that for anyone listening. I love village themes are so good. They're like so chill.
By the
But
way, chat,
anyway,
Milk has the right opinion for this one. Anyways, speaking of
oh,
Milk, it's your turn to prop someone up.
Uh let's talk about base Galvo to be
Oh,
toxic.
okay. uh, yeah, 4-star fire unit. Hooray! Where is he? Where do you want to put him?
Hmm. I think C is a little too mean, so I'll say like B. But honestly I kinda wanna say C. Is there anything lower? No.
C or wait? Was he?
B.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Where did I put him?
Because there's probably like, I don't know really. Let me see what B tier is. Uh,
I think C tier makes a lot of sense because this is like I don't like his kid at all. I hate like because it's not even I hate the entire game plan, to be honest. I think it's just way too slow and way too easy to just like get thrown off course.
Hmm.
yeah.
Because
Like the main problem with him is that you actually have to like, because the point of his thing is that you like cast S2 to like clear the shit you get from your S3. But the thing is that you also have to like watch out for him like potentially dying from his like his unique burn status. Because I've like tried running him and then he just like dies and I was like, oh, he has too low HP. I'm like, huh. I guess I shouldn't have done that. But it's like, why should I do this to like chase like a 160% sort of thing?
it's not
Like
even 160, it's
160%.
140
Really?
or something. Maybe I don't know. I forgot how the damage is calced. Maybe Japanese wiki has it up, but
It's
is it
like,
multiplicative? Is it additive or like multiplicative? I forget.
well, his S3 is like 110%, and his passive goes up to like 50%. So
Hmm.
I guess it's like 165%. But it's like, that's like way too much work for like this low ass S3 that you have to watch like 10 seconds for each time you cast. And then you have to like kill yourself to like actually get there.
The fucking festival Ryuden like cutscene on every S3. Did I forget to add Galvo into the template? I might be stupid.
He should be at the end because I think I mentioned him. I don't know.
I don't see him. I might be dumb. Is
Did
he?
you? He
Is
might
he?
be at the very bottom. Can you scroll down?
Hmm.
Okay, I guess maybe he didn't put him. I thought Archer I mentioned him.
Uh,
Yeah, I guess he had to put him in.
well, that's
Hmm.
fine. Uh, but yeah, Galvo is a little disappointing. And by little,
Like I like his design and his VA is fine, even though Lin apparently pointed out that's the same voice actor as Barong. But yeah, um, she had a better kit.
yeah. Maybe he might get upscaled at one point with like people who can
I
apply friendly debuffs, but I think he's just way too slow, just in general.
Okay, to be honest, I would put in the same tier as Donzo. Like, at least like you,
Uh,
at least with Donzo, you can get his percent up. You can fulfill his conditional within like really quickly. But like Gava will take you forever, and you're
um,
constantly dancing between
I
50%.
I don't agree with that. I don't think I can agree with that. I think Gallivo just does more damage strictly, which is more important at the end of the day. So I think he should be
What if
higher
it
than
what if it
Donzo.
takes you longer? Like maybe
It
Gavo can
is.
kind of be
He
upscaled with
has
like
a higher attack
piercing
stat
damage, but
than Donzo, right? He needs to use like his S2 like what once, and then his S3 just like out damages Donzo's S3 like permanently. That's it. It is not that difficult to out damage Donzo.
hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
My turn. We can put someone in B tier, the Forgotten tier. Ooh boy. All right. Let's get this shitter out of the way. Diagram. We love
Ooh,
Diagram.
ooh.
We love Diagram
Terrible.
so much. We love him so
I
much,
have
guys.
to I have to
He's
look at
so
this kid. I
cool.
genuinely don't remember. Hold
He
up.
this S2 is so fucking funny because we have Bard Danto in the game who does this shit automatically for
He's
free.
a, he's actually so bad. Like once you look at his role,
Oh,
because
it's
he's like
So funny. It's like
he's a debuff role unit who doesn't apply any debuffs.
right.
So like you can't actually like even use him
So when he
and like
does get the roll bonus, he actually does nothing. He does literally nothing unless he uses Psychic active. It is impressive.
which is honestly probably better than using his kit. Having Keylock SK on bonus diagram is probably better than his entire kit.
my god, we're calling it SK. Oh, shit.
Bro, it is insane how like Bard Danzo literally has like his best skill just automatically with like no turn needed to use. What do you do? Like actually, what do you do? Besides
Yeah,
like
he's like this debuff buff removal, but honestly, debuff removal is very in a I don't really care spot sort of way. Like I think people just like eat debuffs and like not really care about debuff management at all. And removing buffs is like very, very rarely relevant. Like I think the only time I've seen like buff removal actually mattering was like that one Theo quest back in like the summer Alpheka event. Like people are getting ratioed by him. Like even then
Oh
could
yeah.
just like killed him. It wasn't even the hardest challenge quest in that
Well,
event.
also his shit is hella expensive too. 14k view to do jack all damage and 2 buff removal. Like, get out of here.
Hmm.
Get out of here. Alright,
Yeah, he's
Arch.
basically there to brick your polls.
Alright, Arch.
He's fan count fodder.
Yeah, he does exist to make your other people stronger by giving them more view after you crush them into bits. Okay, yeah.
Okay, B tier. I think that kind of help cap this out. I think Ryusai is like a fine candidate for B tier because I'm not gonna put him anywhere higher or lower because like he does his job, but it's like you don't like his job and
Yeah.
no one really cares about his job, but he does a fine job. His job is fine, but no one cares
How do
because
you
you know
say
like
this guy's name?
I think I just call him
I'm not gonna say it again.
Ryute.
No, please do.
No, I'm not saying it again.
Huh?
I will just say him from this time on because I never knew if I had his
Huh?
name right. So I will only refer to him as him.
Huh?
Chat, did you hear how he pronounced this guy's name?
I'm not saying it. I'm not gonna say
Like,
it again
Oh.
okay, never mind.
because I've never used him, so it's not like I have his name in mind. So I was gonna butcher his name so bad, but you
Okay.
only get to hear it once and never again. Anyway, yeah, him. He is built for like double DPS teams because his S2 casts twice automatically and it gives them attack up. And that's about it for like his kit relevancy. His S3 it gives flex, it gives barrier. It introduced that status into the game and it's just okay. Like I can't really say it's just like the most okay effect ever. That's introducing the status is the most impact it's had, but like no one really uses that thing. And then for his S2, it's kind of like it existed before multi-hit really brought up the idea of dual DPS. But now that dual DPS is a thing, him buffing two people at once for essentially 7k because you still spend 3.5k to cast it again. But essentially his support for dual DPS is just like outclassed by the current meta and it's not relevant at all. And
Uh,
I think that's all I can say.
yeah. I think the issue is that everyone can like push for more damage outside of their action turn, which means that Yotaro has kind of like replaced him just by being in the sidekick slot. So you don't even need to run him if you want more damage anymore. His S3 is like virtually useless. I think we have better ways of applying these statuses now without spending 10k view for it.
Um, I kind of want to like say something about flex. Is that I actually like the idea thematically of flex, as in like, like you're flexing for the camera, so it's like this view dependent status where you get stronger, to do more views. But if you actually like number crunch flex, it's actually like kind of a really shit status offensively, where like, okay, so flex increases the attack stat by like 30% of the person's view, right? And like a DPS nowadays, like an attack unit, can like reach up to attack stats of like 5,000 attack once you like include stuff like passives and the sidekick and like, even like the sidekick bonus and stuff. So like your attack stat is like 5,000, right? And flex increases this attack stat numerically by some by number between like 500 to like 1.5k attack. And in general, that's actually very hard to reach that cap of like 1.5k attack. So like to be fair, let's just say that increases the attack stat by 1000. So like if you go from 5k attack to 6k attack, that's like a 1.2x multiplier. So this S3 is basically the equivalent of applying a vertigo to all enemies. It's like very bad. Like flex is actually horrifically bad status. Like when you like number crunch.
And that's being generous, I think. I haven't number crunched that status in a long time, but you can go
Yeah,
lower.
yeah,
You
no, it's
absolutely
like
that is a possibility.
yeah, it's like very easy to go lower because you need 30% of the person's view stat. And if you look at Ryusei himself, he's like 2.5k view, and that's like under 1000. Like if you do 30% of that.
Also, there's the fact that it only lasts for 2 actions, right? Whereas just applying vertigo will last through the entire turn, and like multiple people can like take advantage of it. Yeah, flex is it's kind of a bad meme.
Yeah, like I like the concept of flex, but in like the actual numbers, it's a extremely terrible status. And then like when we talk about like Huli or Hule later, it's the same issue appears where it's like it's this weird view dependent calculation that isn't actually very good. Like even after you like put in all the effort, it's like at most like a vertigo, like at very most like a 1.3 multiplier, like at max. And that max is like almost impossible to reach.
Mm. Do they show the number that it gives you in the game? Because I know they did that for barrier. They added an update that you can actually see the barrier value. But do they do that for flex? Because like
I don't
I'll be honest, I don't number crunch flex ever.
I don't think they did.
Well, mainly because I don't use it, but like I'm too lazy to do that.
Yeah, I don't think it matters anyways. No one's using this unit. He sucks ass.
Maybe they might use it. Maybe they might use flex more if they actually showed how much it's giving.
But
Though
they would use it
maybe they don't do
less.
that.
They would use it less because they know how little it's giving actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really like this unit actually. Like, you know, I think maybe he like appeared once in one of those like those like gotcha demo trial things that they have where you can do it for like 1 stone, like show the person's kit. I think he appeared once in one of those things, and I forgot like his
Oh,
S2 was like super annoying where it just ate up all my view for like no
yeah.
reason.
Yeah,
It's like
you can't even control that. You have to hard commit that you're just gonna be spending 7K, which is annoying. And I don't think that whatever demo quest that was, I'm trying to remember if it was like dual DPS or
it was
not.
like terrible. These like demo quests. Well, that one with him was like terrible, if I remember correctly. It was so slow because you had to watch him do his double action again.
Uh, this guy had to use Ryusei with Summersada for Plussy. I'm so sorry for your loss. That sounds
Huh?
tragic. Ryusei
I
with
wonder how
fucking
I wonder how
Summersada
that worked.
Yoshi. There's no way, dude. Oh my god, the fucking Stone Ages with that comp. Alright.
Well, props to it working out somehow in the end. Getting it clear with that, that's admirable.
I guess. Alright, whose turn is it now?
Since we have all the tiers, should we just go alphabetically now, or are we still gonna go like just pick a
The plan
character?
was either we go by release date, uh, or we just keep picking whoever we want. I'm willing
Well,
to
I
go
mean,
either way.
if you do release date, we do get to like just kind of blaze through because we don't have to think about who to pick.
Alright. But whose turn is it for the next pick anyways? Uh if we wanted to do the
I just
other
did
picks.
I just did him, so whoever's
Okay,
next.
we'll let Milk pick one and then decide after that. So
I'll pick a unit that I don't have or can't use anyways. I'll pick LaH. Uh,
sure.
he's kind of a weird unit to me because I can't really use him because people don't have him up for me. I don't know why. But like he's like good, but he's also like not really like prevalent, I would say, in like, clear videos. I think he's like still very good. So I would say he's like S tier. But you don't really see a lot of like footage with him, right?
Yeah, he's at the lower
Hmm.
end of S tier in my opinion. I think the issue with him is, much like other lower end DPS is that he can't really push for extra damage outside of his given turn. But he does deal a lot of damage on the turn that he does get, which is nice. Um, and he's kind of held
I
up with the defensive utility via barriers and whatnot, and the free damage up
I,
as well. Okay, you can finish.
I think he has like very cool kit design in that you actually have to like think about roles in your team. And it's not like too much of like a headache. Uh, and I think the other thing that's interesting to me is like his recastable S2 is that I'm kind of like weary, but as in like cautious of like these recastable S2s after like each Volp like S2 triggering like Bardonzo for free. It's like what? Um so yeah, I think that is like potentially interesting. We'll have to see though. I don't have like anybody to like help him. Like I don't have like anybody like Alan, Genji, or Yasu who like are like supposed to be in his team, to like even use him well. So yeah, that archetype is kind of strange to me or foreign to me at least. I think Vaham though just works by himself, so I think he's good, but he's a little questionable at the moment.
Oh my god, from like a design point of view, I love his kit. It's still, I mentioned this before, but like I still think this is like my favorite kit in the entire game, design wise, because I just think it's so cool that he makes you think about team building in a really abstract way compared to other units beyond just like, oh, I'm looking for synergies. But Vlaham asks you to look for synergies in addition to asking you for roles, which in a way it can be kind of a negative because that really limits your options because you're looking for units that can both work as like a team building synergy in general, but also you need to kind of you need to diversify your role spread. And it also needs to be a role that is useful, which will limit your options a lot. But I think that if you're just kind of playing Vlaham just for fun or just like testing out random different things, then I think that the kind of like the augmentation you could do to his S3 through his S2 is like insane to me. Like the amount of the amount of different effects they have, like just the idea of being able to change what his S3 does based on your team is like just such a good idea. And I think if I recall, the best offensive bullet for him to use is actually speed and not attack. Because according to the JP Wiki, last I remember, because the extra damage you get from speed bullets actually does out damage attack bullets if you do 3 of each.
Yep, I put that in
And
my guide room too. It's like 5%
yeah,
more
and
damage over attack.
yeah, just a little, but it is there. And luckily, I think I think using Farden is fine with them. It's not like it's not like a perfect match made synergy, but it works. And luckily, we finally have someone to replace Santetsu after they patched out that oversight with their crit, which by the I don't he has crit, so like sure whatever. So the weird thing with his crit is that like the weird thing with his crit is that like I don't think you really use his crit like you do with like Santetsu or Geopsy, where you can slot him in a team if you want to add crit. I think his crit is very selfish. Like I think the idea of bringing Vlaham to a team just for his crit for another DPS to take advantage of, I think that's kind of a I think that's kind of weird and a little awkward to use because Vlaham is so I don't want to say selfish, but self-centric. Like he does a lot of things for himself, but in turn, and he can provide some utility through scar application, but because of how his kit works, you still have to think about team building, and that just makes. And if you're trying to bring him to a team just for his crit, then I feel like that just makes team building a little bit awkward. So the best use for him is not using him as like a crit aura, but rather just using him as your main DPS and not really as a sub DPS is what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
Yopsy.
Right.
best coolest kit in the game. I love this thing. It's so good. I still kind of want to pull, but I have Gaius, so I don't really want to risk it. But getting more Gaius is kind of like, wow, more fan count.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
I have better
it's
things
like
to save up
the
for.
best unit for to have fan count on, I guess. But yeah, sure.
I was gonna say, do correct me if I'm wrong, but the other reason why speed bullets are really good are because they count as an additional hit, which means you can add on to other charges faster, like Scar, Bullet Hole, Dark Shadow, etc. But it also should count towards meters as well, like
Mm-hmm.
uh, V Guys' dance gauge and Pirate Hedor's gauge as well. So that's another reason
Uh,
why
yeah.
slicing or double shot should usually be better than the assault shot. Yeah, he's probably my second favorite designed kit in the game. My first favorite is probably Vulpacula's variant, but he's also overtuned, so maybe it doesn't count too much. Anyways, uh, yeah, I'm fine with him being an S tier, but probably on the lower end. So
Yeah, like I think that's fine because he only does like in essence he only does one hit. It's a multi-hit, but he only does one hit, so you can't really get that. It's not like H Vault where he's just spamming hits, you know,
yeah,
which bypasses damage cap. So he's kind of limited in that factor, but still very cool.
the other issue being that he doesn't have that many good speed partners still, even with the massive speed upscale that we got. One being that Farden would be good, but that's taking the field slot where V guys would be better in, and Santetsu still doesn't work with them because it's overlapping with crit passives.
Mm.
So yeah, kind of a rough spot for speed partners still.
You gotta wait for that speed upscale.
I don't. It's gonna turn Volp into an actual terrorist. All right, now that we've circled back to my turn, do you guys want to just do it like release by release date, or do you want to keep picking whoever you want?
Um, I'm fine with release date. It saves us the time. It just makes it quicker, so we can just like go one by one.
Okay. What do you think, Milk?
Release date is fine.
All right, let's head into Akashi then. 3-star version. Uh, Akashi is like he's he didn't improve that much, but he did get some nice number changes, which help him be a little more usable. I think C tier is fine-ish for me. I don't think his skill tree is really that good, but you have to take what you can get with his base kit doing jack shit. Yeah, you don't really, you shouldn't really ever be playing about around your teammates dying. Uh, so he just kind of ends up being like this burn bot who can do a good amount of damage and not much else, which is a little bad because we have better burn appliers in the game. And his S2 isn't that flexible either because he has to like hard cast his S1 to get the extra damage amp. So that means, no follow-up attacks for him. Yeah. It's Akashi.
I think it's insane how they designed his skill tree because like he's like the first. He's like the first. He's like the welfare. You get him when you start the game and stuff, right? When you finish chapter 1, I think, or something. And his skill tree, I would have thought they would have made his skill tree like just kind of like a base upgrade, something more accessible. But his skill tree is so geared towards burn teams, which is so specific and not beginner friendly in my opinion. It's just kind of like a crazy change. But yeah, he's for burn teams. That's just kind of how I see him. It's whatever. I'm not a big fan of burn teams. That, but respect to that one guy who does who does welfare burn teams to do his welfare clears. Respect, because that sounds super annoying, but also sounds satisfying if you're into that. But yeah, a little opinion to burn teams, so a little opinion on his kit. Uh,
He, I think he's like a 3 star, so it's like fine, it's like your kid might be bad, but you're a 3 star. At least you're not diagram.
That can't
There's a
be.
water sound.
That cannot be the bar that we're working with for 3 stars.
I don't hear a water sound. There's somebody in chat says there's a water sound. Maybe it's on the stream itself. Let me try to see.
what water sound?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll try turn off my fan.
I don't hear anything from your end, and you don't hear anything from mine, right?
You muted Discord, but not OBS. Lol.
Oh, I see. Whoops. Yeah, Pest Stream. We're doing Knights College now. Knights College tier list.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's fine, to be honest. Like, I think he could like also be in B tier, considering like you have fucking Ryusei in there, and like Ryusei's job is basically the same as equipping a sidekick on somebody, and that's basically the same thing. And I would put Akashi in. I've used him. I've used base Akashi in the roguelike. Actually, his skill tree. I don't think it's like very good. I don't think it's like the worst experience I've had, but like like doing all the like S1 spamming is just like whatever. I think I was trying it on actually. What was it, the triple S sim? Oh, that lantern triple S simulator, right? That guy, that boss who wasn't immune to burn.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. Oh, actually, it might have worked out, but I was like, I tried to do it with like summer Yohack spamming as well, and then that one didn't work out. But it's like, I don't, I don't think, I don't really have a high opinion of burn teams, as Arch said as well. So it's fine. B or C is like whatever.
Higher than base Galvo or higher than Galvo? Is this true?
I think he's higher than Galvo because Galvo actually kills himself.
Honestly, okay. Honestly, I think if you're doing burn teams, he's reliable. I don't like burn teams, but I think that what puts him over is that he's at least reliable in that sense.
I also think that he just does more damage overall. compared to Galvo, just because
Yeah,
yeah, just because he actually uses S1 sometimes.
yeah, like I've used both Akashi and Galvo. I don't know why, but like he's totally above Galvo. Like Galvo is like you want to fucking die. Like using this guy is like his S3 is so long, and his gimmick is like so bad, and he's like dying. It's like what? What are we even doing to the character? But yeah, I think like base Akashi, honestly, I don't hate him. I just think that he's a 3-star and it's like fine. It's like I'm not expecting an Amazeballs kit.
All right, Rick's
Yeah.
me.
So, mhm.
Next up
Who's next?
is Water Akashi or Green Akashi, Water Bullet Akashi. That guy.
Hmm.
I think he's like actually kind of worse than base Akashi and like how I use him. Because it's like you don't really like want to do anything with him. Like I guess like he has the counter gimmick, but it's like RNG. And then I don't think it works with like Fane's counter on his passive. Fane passive's counter either. So you kind of like double dip as a meme there. It's like his S3 is that like damage scaling AoE thing, which is like probably more achievable nowadays, but it's still like you have to go to 1
It's
HP for 180%, and we don't have like guts in this game.
it's still pretty dog shit. I've tried using him with Genji. It's still really bad. His counter never goes off.
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know
like
why you would ever use this counter. It doesn't do anything. It's like, if anything, well, back I don't think it's that much of an issue now, but before when the meta was still like just buffing characters, I thought the counter was actively going against him because you were consuming your attack buff for a worse counter, for like a terrible counter.
yeah,
But
and like
nowadays, I don't think that's much of an issue. So it's kind of like whatever. Nowadays, you have like you could just do enmity. You could just drain his HP with like Moriyasu or whatever. And
yeah,
so yeah.
I think the problem still though is that like his game plan is that you're supposed to like use his S2 to give him a luck buff so that his counter pops off, but then it consumes his luck buff as well. It's like oh, it's like whatever.
Yeah, and it's only
It's like
for one turn too. So
it's like I don't think even if he had like a well maybe if he had like a like guaranteed counter like does Geisei have a guaranteed counter? I think so, right?
Geisei has
Like
4 guaranteed counters. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
I think he would be like okay then, but like even then, I don't think he's like amazing. Like you kind of don't want to be getting hit in this game unless you're like stereo.
Yeah. Also, his S1 just is not a good skill in the first place. Fucking 80% chance for one debuff removal. Like, come on.
Wow.
Also, his
Yeah,
S3 is like hella expensive too, which is annoying because
Oh yeah,
I don't,
13K.
I
Ew.
don't think like Berserker teams have good view generation options. Yeah. So very awkward unit to use. All right, are we done with them?
Yeah,
yeah.
All
that's all
right.
my thoughts.
That is it for Akashi then. Next up is Mokdai,
Ooh.
base Mokdai.
Uh, I actually kind of like using him as like a 3-star. I think he's like still C tier because he's basically just like a very slow VP gen unit, which is very awkward because you kind of want like VP gen to be like the fast people, ideally. Um, so yeah, C tier.
Yeah, I could see
I
that.
do like some things like is like cheap S3 as like a you know, as like an early game player, but he's obviously not good in this game nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's
Mm.
at the higher end of C tier at least, just because his skills are very much usable and they're very cheap, which is nice. It's just the fact that he is so goddamn slow. It's actually like it was fine at the start, but I think if you're too slow, it just ends up being a death sentence.
Because like most of the time in this game you want to like have like four fast people so that you can use wait four times and then like you do a chain of like eight people in a row with their
Yeah,
actions. And I
Hmm.
guess you could have like Mokdai like be the first person to lead that chain just on account of how slow he is. But then he's
Yeah.
like slow on the second turn as well. So like you only get seven people acting in a row. And that's not good.
yeah.
I
And
I would have liked. You can keep going actually.
yeah, and the other thing is that like I think while I do say that his like S2 can just be replaced by his own sidekick or like Yasuhiko's sidekick, I think it is like I think it is still kind of like a good thing in the sense that like like even in like today's like age, you still just kind of want like a view a view gen skill, right? So like I guess you could use it, but the main problem is that he's too slow.
Yeah. I I guess I would have liked if his S2 if his S3 had guaranteed defense down, but I guess for the 3-star that can be accessible to new players, I guess he's fine. That's nice. It's like your starting VP gen. It's
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
he is functional for starting accounts, which is as good as you can ask for. And he can flex into either like being a cheap DPS option or actual view gen, which is nice. But he doesn't get much further than that. Okay, let's move on to Mokdai's Christmas variant. Where is he? He's been, in my opinion, he's been like B tier for a pretty long time, but I do think there is an argument to be made about him being in B plus tier now that the view archetype is a bit more relevant. Since his base view cluster is S2 is 5k, that is enough to charge 1 bar for Reden's gauge, as well as giving him an attack up boost. And also it's applying people with view, so it actually charges him twice just for the skill alone. Uh, I don't think there's a chance for him to ever use his S3 though, which is sad because it looks really cool. It's just too expensive.
Mm.
And yeah, his S1 is garbage. I really want to skill tree for this thing, but it is what it is. He was meta for like
I kind
maybe a year, and then he kind of fell off just because there are other options now.
I kind of think of him as like a farm unit. That's kind of how I see him nowadays because he kind of got buffing wise. He basically got power crept the moment Halloween Nesson dropped. So, but I think he kind of saw like has this thing where he's just like a good farm unit because of the attack up plus VP for daily stuff.
I
I mean, not just yeah.
yeah. I don't want to say that 5k thing is good because if you ever pull like a dupe of him, don't you get fucked
You
playing
can
Crave?
you can adjust the discount and like reset it back to 0%.
Oh really?
Yeah,
For engrave
Hmm.
too?
yeah.
I never found that out. Well, I guess I could do it on my engraved 81 Naruhito variant.
Oh,
Um,
tragedy.
okay then that's fine, I guess. Uh, I still think he's B tier. I think he's like still very good actually in the sense of like, you get view and an attack buff, and that's like a lot of momentum actually. Um, but in today's meta, there's too many stupid people running around that's no longer like that amazing.
Yeah, I get that. I just think that like for general account value, he provides the same amount as Toshu and Barrel. So I think it's
Mm.
okay for him to be in B plus tier.
Yeah, that tier is very much looking like the launch date of 2022 era meta, which I guess is fine. Like we've moved on past beyond that kind of gameplay, but it's still a workable archetype, so that's fine.
Hmm. One day, look at the skill tree. All right. Next up is Sui, our new they them royalty. This is gonna take a while for me to get used to. What do you guys think
I
they're gonna be?
I it just depends, but like it when I say depends, I mean like their kit, it's not gonna be relevant a lot of the time. They are specialized in buff removal, and they're the only unit to remove all buffs from an enemy. The issue being that they don't really give enemies enemies don't really get buffs. A lot of enemies and HDQs, a lot of their damage is just natural. Like they don't need buffs to deal stupid amounts of damage to your team. Or sometimes they're just acting twice in a row, which is also not a buff. That's just an inherent skill they have. So that, that's fun. Not really much you can do about that. So buff removal is super niche because it's just not really a thing you face against enemies. Buff removal from the enemy side, that's a little bit more annoying. But buff as an effect that you have on your team, you're just not gonna use it often or ever. And like you can ignore it most of the time.
Yeah, I
So
think
at best, you get the defense down from the S3, but it's like 13k. That's a lot.
I think it's fucking tragic that they had two coin flip debuffs, and the one that got the guaranteed Evo was the speed down one and not defense down.
Mm,
It's actually tragic.
yeah.
yeah. Um, I think they're like an interesting debuff unit for like new players since you have like a bunch of versatility. They're kind of like a ooh, we're gonna give the new players this toy so that they can see what all these debuff effects do. Which is why there's like defense down, speed down, and buff removal. I've actually used them in like challenge sims like really early on for that buff removal. I forget what quest it was, but it's like nowadays I don't think I don't think Arch mentioned this, but like even if the boss buffs themselves, it's usually with this gray status that's not really a buff anyways.
Mm,
It's like that gray like thing like on the meteorite kaibutsu thing,
yeah.
right? So it's like whatever. Um Maybe we'll see this like remove all buffs be relevant. Uh like one day, like maybe one boss will give themselves like 7 defense ups or something, but like like I think like most the thing that you want to buff remove the most is like shield and invincibility stuff, right? Those things
Hmm.
that have like 3 stacks of invincibility. But then we have these like fuck ass multi hit teams who just like you know we have we have we have Altiva who's not even considered good, with his recent skill tree, right? But he can do like 5 hits now. It's like okay, whatever. So like this 13k S3 is like not good.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's very
I
niche and it's
something.
just like not found its use case ever again.
The other depressing thing is
Mm,
that Flamier's variant doing the same thing, but also cheaper, and also having
yeah.
other uses. Um.
I still
Okay.
don't have her. I kind of want her just for that little niche, but it's like they just never rerun that banner nowadays. So I think no, I think that banner got aged out, which is sad. but yeah.
Really,
One thing
Ghostwoods?
I also wanted,
Did you Ghostwoods?
Ghostwoods, yeah.
Hmm. I don't know. We'll see about that.
All right. Well,
Uh,
it did just rerun
anyway,
actually this year
one,
or last year, didn't it?
I think I could, no, I think it got aged out because it's been 3 years.
No, it got put on like a rand. It was placed, I think around the same time as Christmas, last year.
Mm, right. Honestly,
Um,
I just want them in to put in like a 4-star limited ticket because because I already have Goro and Lilac. I don't really need to like go on that banner, so I'd rather get her from
boo,
just buying her outright.
boo. Get more Goro and Grave stacks. Anyways, where are we thinking of putting this thing? Like C tier, D tier?
Um, honestly, lower because it's like buff relevancy is not common at all. Or C.
I would say C tier just because they're still better than Donzo. Like a
I,
debuff is better than Donzo. Like I know Donzo can
True.
apply defense
It's
down, but
guaranteed,
it's like
even
it's
though it's
still better.
13K, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
depressing.
It's funnier to put them at C tier, so or above Donzo. So yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, makes sense. Next up is Reiki.
Ooh.
This this guy had a bit of a glow up in the recent years.
I actually kind of want to say like A plus tier, just because H Volp is so fucking stupid for him.
No, that's fair. That he definitely got an upscale from that. So I think using H-Volp as like essentially a Reiki buff is like totally fit, totally fine to say.
I don't want to say A tier because it's like there's no way you can call this unit A tier anymore when he's like appearing in so many like turn one clears. And it's
Yeah,
actually like kind of ridiculous that like I felt like there was no fanfare for his skill tree when it released, and then now he's like meta. He's like the wave clear unit.
yeah. I think just him working with a lot more relevant supports and also Volp's variant, he's gotten a lot more use cases now. I think he's like top three for speed supports now, and it's kind of funny to call him a speed support, but he does have like some good utility between like the AOE speed up and vertigo. And if nothing else, you can just use his AoE speed buff and then chain into his sidekick active.
So yeah, it's like I don't know if people in the well, I guess all the people in the chat are like people from Lawcourt, but it's like very stupid this unit. In the sense that like it just like suddenly popped out of nowhere and people are like finding out again that like oh hey, this guy has like a 220% AoE that's like the biggest in the game. And he's like killing shit. It's like okay.
I actually did underestimate him on so I don't know why I didn't really register that or why I didn't remember how much his skill tree upgraded. Maybe it's just because speed was super still like I had this anti-speed bias in my mind before it got upscaled last year, but the skill tree is actually pretty good. Or maybe it's just because I got annoyed that they didn't fix the view problem because it's still 18K. Like you have to consider that.
Yeah, it's 18k, and then you have to use 8k for his free S2.
Yeah. I don't
I think
I
though
guess
that like
that sucks, but like you can get around it, but that's still like that is a negative.
I think it's actually for long-term players like you just have like a fuck ass engrave on your right key 4 anyways, so it's like whatever.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
played since the start, this character is like basically Bitcoin. It is insane how much value that he just like goes up in throughout the years. Uh, Too bad you kind of need to give him like chords and shit for him to use his S3, because that's a fat
well,
moving multiplier.
well, for any DPS, you have to give them quartz anyway. So I think that's just like as the game plan as usual.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Reiki's variant. The first variant
Ooh.
that we got in this game, actually.
farm unit. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I would say that he's around Christmas Smoke Knight tier, but he does have, I'd say, a okay-ish skill tree that should push him a bit above that, like around Grigori tier or something.
Yeah, I do think Tika mentioned this in chat, but I do think he's better than Christmas Smoke Die as a farm unit, but because of how he applies speed up, he has to be the last support on your farm list, on your farm team,
Yeah.
speed wise. But he has a lot. No, and he got upskilled because of Barden sidekick passive. I don't know. I forgot if that has like an auto or something, but that thing just gives you plus 25 attack for having speed up. So obviously that works well for Reiki. So that really helps with the full optimizing farm clears.
Mm,
It's an auto action that targets the enemy the lowest speed.
Oh, well, I guess if you're playing manually, then it's still good. But it's not the ideal passive for auto. But you can still use Galvo; it still works. But you're using a one-turn farm team, so Galvo would work anyways, assuming you're using buffs or whatever.
Uh yeah, I think this unit's fine. I think it would like B or B plus tier is like a fine place to put him. I'm not really like that impressed with his skill tree, like, but like it's like the skill tree where they're just giving these like free unique 20%, just basically like a vertigo disease sort of thing. Um, I was like, sure, that's fine. I'm not really impressed with his like extra action on S3 because his S3 is still kind of like shit.
yeah,
I
it's
know
a
that there's like the
little,
debuff resistance
it's quite situational, yeah.
and like it's so expensive that it's like it's like whatever. I guess like the debuff resistance might be like cool if there was ever a quest where there's like, oh my god, my team is getting so many debuffs, whatever should I do? That doesn't happen though. Because this like debuff resistance is actually like kind of good, but then it's also a coin flip debuff resistance, and it's like, oh, well, whatever.
Well, in some quests you can stack it, but you're spending 22k for that thing.
You
If
should
you
be
want,
stacking it with like Valorate passive and whatnot, because that goes
or
up
just use a
to,
Grigori.
mm, I guess. I think it's a wrong Grigori tier still, just because uh, his S2 is just like really fucking cheap, and you can like further discount it with like MC passive, and it actually kind of pays for itself when you level him up, which is funny.
I kind of have him lower than Grigori because I feel like Grigori is just kind of. Oh, I guess it depends on your priorities. Reiki is only good for farming, while Grigori is good for HDQs. So it's just kind of like whichever.
I mean, at the end of the day, I still feel like Reiki, Xmas Reiki is like his best skill is Huckle Sidekick active. It's like whatever.
I guess, but he also
Yeah.
has the
Well,
20% damage increase from the speed
it's
up
Huckle.
buff. Yeah.
It's Huckle
It's like
Psychic, but on a skill, which means you can auto it. And I think that while it is funny, he just has Huckle Psychic. It is on. You can auto it, which I think makes an important difference.
Yeah. I think he's fine right here then.
ooh.
Okay. Crown. I've never touched this unit. I can't lie. Uh, her skill set just isn't that attractive. You're working with 104 base speed, which is very slow for a support unit. Uh, I don't know. Her skills are just so fucking clunky. None of them work together. It's just which skill do you want to use to like buff one person, right? Or like using your S1 to maybe give yourself defense up? Question mark. I don't know. I could never get into this kit. It's just like
Honestly, I mm,
it's just like oh, you give attack up and speed up. Guess who does that? But also, also attacks the enemy and gives people proc rate. It's stereo. Woo. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not into this.
honestly, I should really use her in a budget clear, but I think it's fine, but like in a good fine because everything's reliable. With all these, like the only unreliable thing is her S1 defense up, but it's like you're not really trying to actively use that. You're only using her as like a support. So I think her being able to give all these three buffs guaranteed is actually nice. Like it's not really relevant now. We moved far beyond this, but if you think about like reliability, if you're actively thinking about using her, then that's actually nice. And it's 7K. That's pretty cheap. Like it is not expensive to run her at all. It's just the only issue is that her skill that she's just like an attack up buffer or plus speed up and defense up. Stereo obviously is better, but she's reliable if you know
I
what you're bringing her for.
I don't know. I think speed up and defense up is just a really weird hodgepodge of buffs to give to people, and you still have to work with
It's
her.
good for Worker buff or worker passive.
No, shut up. You still have to
It's in
work
the
with her.
game. You have to think about it.
You still have to use her with that fuck ass 104 base speed. So you're slotting in like Rookie passive and some other high speed passive or high speed psychic equip just so she could keep up with like the more recent releases.
I think the thing about like Crown is that she's supposed to be like this defense up unit to like introduce people to that, right? Um, but it's like defense up is not very useful these days in the sense that if you want defense up, people just like put on like pub or Theo sidekick passives to get it for free and just gamble with it. Well, like supports actually like, push damage. Like the best defense in this game is just killing the enemies faster, right? And like I've used Crown before, but she's never really been impressive. I think her S3 has potential if like that buff turn count meta actually
Mhm.
became real or was like relevant. But I think like that's not true even with Taika. So yeah, I don't think it's happening. Like who is it? There's like Gio Okitaka and Suniaki's variant. They're not relevant.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think there's content where you should really need Crown ever. Um, so what are we thinking? Like around Summer Akashi level.
Mm,
I put her
um,
D tier, yeah.
D tier? Oh, no, I think it's too loud. C tier is fine.
Is she stronger than
Um,
Galvo? What do you guys think?
well, the Gobble kills himself. Crown doesn't. So,
Okay, but one of them actually does damage. So, well, damage in quotation marks rather.
I mean, I don't know. My thought process is she does the thing you bring her to do. So
I
that's
I guess, but the thing that she does isn't that impressive either. So, okay, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna put her above Galvo and call it.
somebody mentioned in the
okay.
chat if they ever invent a defense up archetype, they actually did. It's Summer Andrew, and he sucks still.
Yeah, he's kind of bad still, but he's better
Kinda.
than some people. So, you know how it is. All right, other Shuko, Game.
I think he's solid B tier. He's like not good, but then he's like speed roll, and then like there's H Fulp. So then he's like kinda okay now.
Yeah, I think H-Wolf kind of brings up every other speed unit by at least one tier. Which is kind of
Well,
funny.
I don't know. It's like the thing with H-Wolf is that he applies speed through his S2. Gamai's biggest contribution is that he's like a 4-star who can apply aim, but like H-Wolf already
Everybody's
does that. So I mean, and a bunch of other people because of Grigory, but I know
yeah,
H-Wolf is like
Game's
upscaling
actually
speed, but I don't know.
yeah, but like Game applies speed down on his S2 as well. And that buffs H Fulp. It's like bar thing.
I think it's pretty impressive that his S3 actually gives you 4 combo now. That's like a hefty amount, in my opinion. That's an
Yeah, it's
AoE
like
speed down
Kiwichi
too.
sidekick. I think I like used him in that one H Fulp shilling simulator. And yeah, he works. It was like perfectly fine for like a 2 turn. And like I think that's like kind of stupid, you know? Like you get this 2 turn and you're using this base Reiki, base Game. So like I don't think he's like C tier. I think he's like solid B now.
Mm, there might be an argument for him being in B plus tier if you account for the fact that
Mm,
he's kind of good for like wave clear setups if you, especially for like combo teams when you use him with barrel, just because speed down and 5 combo is quite good.
Oh, I see. That's like what they were doing. This Game barrel synergy, the skill tree.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll pretend I don't see it.
Huh?
I don't know. I think it's like I don't really like use base barrel that much, so I'm like whatever, you know. When I saw that combo, it was just like kind of out there because like it's like fine, but it's like I don't really like combo that much till I had to get shield into it with stereo.
I don't know. I think B is fine. I don't know. Cool that he applies aim, but yeah.
Mm,
Also, I just remembered that I'm looking at this kid. I just remembered that he applies the view cost plus on enemies, and that's like I think that's like the only time you can do that. The only other status that does that is overcharge, but that does it in a different way. So I think that's just kind of interesting how you can just kind of increase an enemy's view by like what 2,000, but that's pretty niche.
it's 1,000, isn't
It's
it?
1K. It's 1,000. Well, from upgrades, I think it goes up to 1K or 2K.
No,
You gotta
I think it's just weird because it says like on the first upgrade it's final cost plus 1,000 equals 100. So I think it's just 1K view cost increase.
Oh, let me check the JP wiki. They probably have it listed.
you got
Um,
we gotta hurry. We're 2 hours in. We're only on
oh
Game.
yeah, it's 100 to 1,000. So yeah,
I am right,
you should,
as per usual.
yeah. Let's just call. But yeah, we should maybe.
I want to at least get to I don't know Goro.
That might be a bit hard. We can try though. Okay,
Well, yeah, we
Festival
could speed it
Game.
up.
Festival Game.
Um,
This guy's just B tier, right? Like,
disappointing. Wow. Yeah, beat.
yeah, he
Yeah,
doesn't.
it's like
He's not aged well.
He hasn't. Well, there isn't much to age in the first place. He was like kind of mediocre from the start. Uh,
Yeah, like the Death Down passive is like kind of cool when it works. but it's like 50%, so it doesn't work all the time. But then his
And
AoE is like 135%, which is like at max, I mean, which is like normal for AoE, at the time. Like Summer Toshu was like 140% when it got buffed. Now we have like base Reiki running around with 220%. It's like, mm, I don't know.
Yeah,
he wasn't even good on
135%
release.
is not impressive, even if it's kind of easy to get to. Oh, while we're on the subject, I think we should just blitz through the current banner units real quick because they're kind of topical right now. Um, where is he?
Oh,
Senthak is
true.
just Festival Game. Like they're the same character almost in terms of their S3
Yeah.
damage. But
Mm.
Senthak does have burn utility, which is good. Because it helps them be slotted into our teams. But in essence, they're kind of the same character.
I would put him like Sendak lower because he's so frustrating.
No, fine, okay.
I think that's fine. I don't know. I just thinking about Senthak reminds me of
I'm like
Hologram and
casting
how
this
much of a
S3 and it does
nothing.
no damage. And then like this like image thing doesn't even work. This hologram thing doesn't even work half the time. It's like, oh my god, please do damage.
It's
It's
not
so
even
sad. It
good.
doesn't.
Like why is he here?
Hologram
Why did
only
they give
exists
him
to make his
this?
S3 armor damage. It's crazy. It doesn't do anything else.
Ugh.
And it's like so annoying because like sometimes an enemy just dies early, right? So like the number of debuffs lowers because of that. So now I'm doing less damage with Suntag, and that's like stupid.
I want to drop him below Ryu's side, I think. Or yeah, personally.
No, be nice to him. That's Pookie.
Well, he could be a better Pookie if he didn't have all this limitations.
I'm so sad. Okay, fine. What about Alan? Alan's, in my opinion, pretty easy S tier. He only does one action per turn, but it's a very good action. He does a lot of damage amp. Um, his S3 is more situational, but it does give your team a lot more survivability. Inversions, inversion is always nice. Debuff resistance is okay, but it's more of a cherry on top effect more than anything. And of course, the Gon runs energy, where you use S2 and then you proc Gon run passive on your DPS is always nice. And the fact that it applies to multiple people theoretically is quite good as well. Uh, Major downsides are just his S2 is quite expensive. It's 7k base cost, so you will usually use MC passive with him. I don't think he's that flexible for like sidekick builds in general. It's just like the standard damage boosting effects like Exio, Orbiter, and like anything that can help you like afford your skills.
For his S2 passive, I wrote that because I wrote that in a really specific way because I feel like I was trying to do testing with them and the barrier. I think the original effect, how it's written, is like when barrier is granted to an ally, grant attack plus 25. But I swear when I was doing tests with him, like some months ago, it felt so inconsistent. I was like not understanding why. And I feel like the only consistent way I could get that is when barrier is granted to an ally from this skill, because I think I was trying it with like Bagel or something, Bagel sidekick, which I think gives barrier on its active skill or something. And Alan's barrier passive from construction, that whole gauge mechanic, that doesn't give the attack plus 25. So I'm like, what even triggers this skill? And I think it's only from his S2, from what I could figure, which is like a really weird mechanic, but that needs further testing. put an asterisk on that or pin it for later, but that's like that's just like something I found out some months ago that I can never really like resolve.
Yeah. Alan's kind of an annoying unit to me because he's like basically the linchpin for these like low HP teams, and if you don't have him or Genji, you're kind of fucked. You can't run these units, and yeah, and like even if you're not running those teams, it's like you get a free damage buff as this passive. Like you don't have to work to anything. Like you can like eat shit. Like your team could be eating shit, and like you are getting stronger, right? Like you don't have to work for that. Like the enemies are gonna be doing damage to you. So like, yeah.
Yeah. Or, well, I think it's honorary S tier because of that of that one Twitter guy who just who just shows Alan in every single one of his quests because he just abuses the Yoshiori passive,
I
which I think
pretend
is super
I
funny.
do not see it. I do think it's silly though that people were like saying how good Genji was because he has 2 amps, but Alan's over here with 3, and he's much easier to work with. Okay, yeah. Anyways, let's move on to Mr. Giansar.
Ooh,
Mm,
wheelchair.
uh,
Yo, single target
do
and
I stick
AoE
to my
stuff.
principles or do I actually? That is a tough decision to make, actually.
I am kind of surprised. I don't know if this is still relevant for your tier list or like if you change your mind, but I am kind of surprised you have it ranked higher than Astar.
Oh, they're not sorted in my tier list. They're just
Oh,
like whoever I thought of first. I think if he is S tier, it's probably on the lower end though.
yeah. I
Maybe
think
higher than Vlaham, just because he
it's
does
like
have extra action turn with his S3.
yeah, I think that's fair. Like he does what's his multiplier here? It does
It's some stupid ass
360%
multiplier.
twice
It's
360% twice, so that's 720. You know, not accounting for damage caps, but so that's a stupid amount.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Obviously, if you don't have Astosis or Summer S-Star, this unit's low-key bricked. um,
Okay, it just is. You're not your only other explosion source is like Bart?
it's like Bart and like
Ooh,
base Volp. That dude
Bart is
was like
one.
saying how good base Volp was with him while using Astra in the same team. Like, oh, I guess. Anyways, yeah.
there
He does big
there's
damage, but he is dependent on very, very specific teammates. And if you don't have those teammates, he is essentially dog shit.
can use Denebra S3.
Oh,
Hit them for like if you have your 100k view given to you in the gacha tutorial demo. Um,
I will say
yeah,
that his S1 is actually pretty good if you cannot use his S3. And I do enjoy using it a good amount.
I think it's good. It's just that I don't like it in the farming quest.
Okay, well,
So
you're
it's somehow like
not...
kill some random shit instead.
Okay, but it can do some good work outside of farming. Actually, there is that one quartz quest that uses him uh, for the burn setup with like Sue Hale and Summer Yohak. So yeah, it actually makes him a bit more usable for in certain farming setups, which is funny to say because it's like kind of RNG based. But yeah, if you go account for like that, then yeah, it's pretty good.
also, you
Did you?
can kill Furlong in that one's challenge sim.
Yeah, I did not know that both Oaks and Hinami actually helped with this too, with his art.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Oh, both? Oh, hmm.
Yeah. Even his
What's
artist is getting wheelchaired. That's crazy.
well, they're a VTuber now. They're busy.
Yeah.
Whatever. Whatever. Okay. Who else is next? Oh, we should talk about Barrel.
Oh,
Water Barrel actually. Um, where is he? There he is. So before he was like, you know, kind of in this really rough tier, but he got a skill tree recently, so now he went up to like the same as his base card, I think, which is kind of funny to think
yeah. I
about.
put him there. So B plus.
Um, so his skill tree gives him this extra combo effect where if someone uses his or someone uses their S1, they gain +1 combo, right? And he they updated his S3 to charge up its damage whenever he does his S1. Uh, so naturally, some people thought, hey, we can use them as a follow-up DPS unit and just spam people who can force an S1 out of him, and that'll give him more combo and also charges gauge. Apparently, the combo generation actually does not function with follow-up attacks. You can only use it, or it only functions when people use their S1 like on their own action turn, which is kind of terrible actually. It really limits his team options. It's basically just like Halloween Nessun and Christmas Stereo who work with him now. Um, it does stack with combo accelerator passives like the Summer Algebra and Lilac, which is nice, but the fact that it's still limiting is really bad. um, Aside from that, his S3 is okay now for damage. Um, it has a cap of 220%, which is on the higher end of wave clear S3s. And his follow up S1, or his S1 in general, could do splash damage now if you have at least 5 combo, which is good. That's actually one of the changes that like I was trying to design for him for like when I was doing like OC skill trees. It's just funny. I was like, the of course water barrel should do fucking splash damage. Look at his design, dude. It's crazy. Anyways, he also has this unique follow-up attack before the enemy attacks. If their combo is at least 10 or more, you deal 50% damage to them, and reduce their defenses for one attack. This is actually kind of mediocre in the sense that 50% is the same as one Summer Alphecca follow-up, and the damage down effect is not only very low, but it also only applies to one hit. So what does this amount to? Um, I don't know, not much of anything really. I think he does around the same damage as his base form, but you can kind of use him with Christmas Stereo now, and it's a little bit better because he has splash damage. But outside of that, it's not great for him.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, I don't see the vision with this character. I think he just like still kind of sucks. It's kind of a
the
shame
unit
because
who
I have
could,
like a bunch of Barrel fans in my support list who have him like
yeah,
Brave 100. And it's like, damn.
the unit who could
I
not leave 2022 meta.
like maybe somebody will discover something, but like I'm not impressed. That 50% is such tickle damage. It's the same thing with that Alchiba like bullet thing, where you
Bro,
just see
I
this like wimpy ass bullet.
it is so sad. They made like these unique animations for like both of these skill trees, and then they just do like what 3k damage.
So like the thing about the bullet thing, I thought like if the 40% would like scale based on combo. It was like, oh, I'd get more damage the more combo we have, right? But it was like, oh, it's just 40%. I was like, oh. never mind. But yeah, that's Ulchiba instead of Barrel. But yeah, I tried Barrel. I don't really know what we're doing, because of like you kind of want
My
to
thing
spam
is,
his S1 for the AoE spread, but it doesn't work with his combo thing, and it's like I don't get it.
I guess they just leaned. I guess they just leaned more on his S3, which is like, which I guess was the worst part of his kit. The biggest change to me is that they just made his S3 easier to charge and improved it, but that's about it.
But I think like the charging thing is still like very hard, even if the cap is like 220% now. Because like, you have Reiki, right? But his cap is 220%, so it sounds good, but it's like Reiki just gets it at 25 speed difference. While like Barrel you have to like, I don't know, cast his S1 6 times or some shit.
Yeah, it's just kind of a mess. Also, um, this is kind of awkward to say, but his unique S2 follow up just like straight up does not happen half the time. In the sense that some bosses have like this threshold where they'll like counterattack, right? And that resets the combo counter back to 0. So there are cases
Mm.
where he goes and does his damage, and then when he's supposed to do his unique follow up, the enemy does their counter first, and then he just does nothing. It's really depressing because like even Rastaban does like his unique follow up all the time, but it is so sad that this unit actually gets cucked out of that just for being so like centered around combo. Uh, okay. So yeah, B plus here for this thing. Let's talk about
Yeah.
Alchiba's skill tree now, since that also has a skill tree.
My I'm trying to think of like a funny phrase or funny sentence to describe him. And my how I think about Kiba now is that he went from forgettably bland to memorably embarrassing. It's a visible improvement, but now it's just embarrassing what his kit does and what they added. And that's all I will remember him by nowadays.
It is definitely a mess. Um, I don't know why his attack boost only lasts like the turn after they do their action, and it's only for one action too, so it's not even that good for some Volca or anyone. It's just good for Rasabon, I'm pretty sure. That's it. Um, I want, I really want to rank him higher just because, he has the combo game passive and he has like 5 hits in his S2. He should be racking up combo like fairly consistently. He doesn't really do much outside of that, and it's really sad. But also, like, he has better skills than Lilac, and that's who he's competing with. So I
Yeah,
don't
like
know.
he can at least apply aim, but he has the worst amp, which I think is more important.
Yeah, I'd be okay with them at the bottom of A tier, just because he is like a little future proof in the sense that he has the combo gain passive and he has a really good way to stack up combo. So if they actually ever intend to like fix the combo archetype, he will be a good option if you don't want to run Lilac. I just don't think there's a lot of teams that really need him right now, and that's kind of sad. Like you can use him with Summer Barrel, I guess, and like
Mm.
he's kind of supercharges like Christmas Stereo's like resonance, which is good. But yeah, outside of that, mm, not the best skill tree that we could have gotten.
Yeah, I've been using him a lot because sunk cost I spent my token thing on him, and it's like, well, this kit is actually like disappointing than what I first thought it was. Like how they worded his buff and his like bullet thing. I actually think that he's kind of fun if you just like use him as a gambling unit to like proc like stuff like your gory and like the Scar sidekick passive from the mobs, and then he's like fine. Because like if you think about it, like even ignoring all this combo shenanigans stuff, he's still doing like a 5-hit thing on his S2. It's like
Mm.
quite a bit, you
Yeah,
know?
I do think it's impressive that he's like our first unit who can reliably attack people 5 times at a relatively cheap cost. It just requires a bit of luck, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's why like when people meme on him for this, like his skill tree being bad, they're not like completely wrong, but I think he's like a little stronger than what people are giving him credit for.
I
Because
think
like
I
if you
said
land that like aim and scar, it's actually like you are actually providing value
yeah.
compared to
Mm.
like Lilac.
Yeah.
Also, he can charge sword dance quite quickly, and which is nice.
According to JP Wiki, the proc rates for the bonus hits is like 60% for 4 and 30% for 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he at least has like a guaranteed like 3 hits, which
Hmm.
is like already more than Rescue Nom.
yeah. I run like show and passive or like a proc rate up passive because you get a lot of values. So you're also trying to proc like scar and like another debuff with like a gory. But Grigori is not really that essential when if you're using like stereo as well, but it's a thing, you know. But yeah, I think he's like I think they're I don't think he's like there for quick clears at the moment, but I think there's like some meme stuff that you can do with him. Even that like stupid ass wimpy bullet shit is like a nice like possible combo starter. Because it gives like +1 for each bullet, which is
Yeah,
like +2 to his passive.
yeah, it does stack quite well with his passive. Um,
You just like need somebody that's not named Summer Alpheka to be like the linchpin of the meta for combo.
It's just gonna be like it though. The thing is that Alcuba is just built for like one hit nuke combo nukes. That's the only way you can take advantage of his amp.
I don't really
So
think
that's
it's one
already kind of
hit.
limiting.
It's like weird.
I
It's like
think
weirder, right?
it's more revolving
Oh,
around those like setup teams with Summer Burrow and Rastabon, because they both can get the amp after they do their like attack, and then they have a follow-up attack that can make use of it.
mm,
That's the intended route, anyways. Especially with Rastabon, because he provides the attack up amp portion of the combo scaling teams. Uh,
right.
yeah. So yeah, I do think that they're in this new age of the quote unquote new age of combo. They kind of like want you to use like Algebra and Barrel and Rastabon together as the main core. It's just not a very good one. Were you gonna see something, Arch?
No. I think that's about it. Though I will say, I think it's kind of, I was wondering how long it would take to mention the bullet thing because it's just there, I guess. Like, sure, he's a
Well,
VP
I'm just
unit
treating it
now.
as extra hits
Congrats.
for like passives because like I'm thinking like, you know, if you somehow manage to spend like 30k view, right, to get 3 bullets, and then you're just
Yeah.
spamming S2 all the time, that's like eight hits for like multi-hit teams.
Hmm.
I was like, sure, that's fine if I, equip some stupid ass hit passives.
I think it's kind of funny though. The animation for it is like this flurry of bullets out of
It's
nowhere,
so fucking bad.
and then like one person gets hit for like 4k damage. Like, okay. All right. While we're talking about Algebra, why don't we talk about his base version as well? I'm sure
This
that's
is
quite fun for some people.
mm, he's okay. The thing is, I in a way, in a sense, I
Yeah.
kind of like his S3.
Oh my god.
I he is. It lasts for 2 turns. It's silence for it's stupid expensive. It's 15K. That's completely unreasonable. But they've been kind of lenient on silence as silence immunity, I think. Like I don't think the horse HDU had it at all, but like sometimes you actively don't want them. Sometimes their S1s are like really bad. So it kind of depend. You kind of have to like depend. You have to like look at the quest, see if shutting down a unit is actually worth it or not. But it is a genuine niche. I will say that Alkiba still has a genuine niche in that he could apply silence for 2 turns and just shut them down.
Or you're straight fucking capping. If you're spending 15K on a skill, they can't cast anything because you've already like spent the entire view pool. You might as well just use that 15K for something actually useful.
No, but like sometimes they have like these cheap skills that they always get for free, like 2K or something, and like you could just prevent that outright. I'm not saying it's like
If you have these cheap
amazing,
skills
but like
that they are doing outright, then you're pretty much like I don't know, like every team should be able to live that, you know?
sometimes it's like a setup skill or something, or like it leads into like a bonus action. Like I'll S2 cast bonus action, and then and then like they follow up with S1 or something. But I don't know. It's like Alkiba is the only person who can. It's either Alkiba, Victom, and Shide, and he's the only one who can do it for 2 turns. I'm not saying it's like super high or anything, but that is, at least to me, that's notable.
I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like I'm gonna be on like the 3-star defense for some of these because I do kind of like some of these kits, but like in a budget sense. But viability, I know they're not high.
Where would
I
you
mean, I
put him
still
then?
think he's just gonna be in C tier. Like nobody's using him.
C tier
Yeah,
is
no,
actually higher
it's
than
like
expected.
C
I
tier is fine. I
C
think for
tier
me, D tier is
max.
like unusable. Like if you're gonna use this unit, if you're going to bring Alkiba, you're bringing him for his S3, and he's
I
reliable in
I
that sense. You
guess
can put him low C tier. I'm fine with that, but
I don't know. We still have the Forgotten tier too, and also D tier for Donzo. So there are grounds for him to go lower, just so you guys know.
mm,
Actually, I'm gonna put Alchiba like down to Forgotten because nobody remembers him.
Oh,
mm.
well, there you go.
Like people have to like, oh, I'm gonna read this kit first to remember what he does. People talk about him.
No, dead ass. I never remember what his S2 does. It's so sad.
I mean, I guess his S2 like works with H Volt, but you know, H Volt is doing everything. Whatever.
I guess I'm
He has a
kind of
niche
putting
in my
him.
heart, and that is all that matters.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Mm.
Okay. We can talk about Barrel's other variant now.
Uh,
Oh, we're skipping the anti barrel. All right.
It's just by character ID.
I kind of want to say he's like S plus tier to be honest.
I would agree with you, but that's reserved for the H the terrorists, and he's not quite there yet.
Mm.
Because he.
Because I'm looking at your tier list right now, and it's like this Summer Alpheka in it. I think, and I think he's kind of in like that sort of same thing. Like, oh, your team has barrel too. That's why you're winning. It's the
Mm,
same thing.
I guess that's the way we see it. I don't know. For me, he's just kind of a two-turn merchant most of the time, which is like fine. It's the same deal as stereo, but I think it's just like it's really hard for him to push for damage any earlier. But like he does provide a lot of comfort for accounts, just in the sense that you can basically use him with anyone and he'll perform very, very well.
I think I think S tier. I think like the thing is he doesn't really he works with V guys, but it's like it's not the best. He doesn't 100% work. Like he still works. You can still carry him because he's still run in multi-hit teams and they can carry V guys for him. But like you can't exactly. Beryl can take advantage of sword dance, and I think that kind of brings him down a bit, especially because they have all these like active cast, active action stuff or clauses in kits now, and Barrel's whole gimmick just ignores all of that entirely.
Yeah, he works very well as like a generalist DPS right now. Way better than his supposed other variant. Did you know that one of the translated or one of the demos in or like one of the slides for his other variant for the tryout was like uh Festival Barrel is a generalist damage dealer, and I was like, oh, okay.
Hmm?
But yeah, it's like in the tooltips for like when you do a hero tryout and they do like a little small tutorial for you. Yeah, they said that he was like
Oh,
generalist DPS, which is funny because I think his variant does that,
hmm,
or his other variant does that way better.
yeah.
I'll put him above Alan for now though.
I think that's fine. Yeah,
But
because he has a lot of multi hits and he can bypass damage cap, which I think makes him better than Gionsar and Vlaham.
yeah, he is very very good. Don't get me wrong. I think he's just missing like a best in slot support for him. Because he's kind of running around with like these co-op options with like Christmas Stereo and Summer Yo Hack. All right, we done with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to base furlong.
Oh, this is a fun one.
I don't use this thing a lot, so one of you guys can start
I
first.
I still use him for the meteorite quest. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I actually also do. I think he's aged perfectly fine in the sense that he's still one of the only people who have damage aggregation.
Yeah, I can see that. But for me, I just use Andrew more, and it's just a lot more comfortable because you can use us pretty good with that team. It's really funny.
Hmm.
Uh,
I think
Did you
I think
say?
he has just a I think he has a very fun gameplay loop or a very comfortable gameplay loop. He could just block damage aggro for 2 turns. And obviously if you have like procky psychic with him, then it's like zero damage aggro, which is very nice.
I think the issue is that like inversion supports just kind of make him a bit redundant because they just make your
Yeah.
entire team tankier, and you also usually have like better utility than him. If you're uh, because without his damage aggregation, he doesn't have a lot, which is sad.
Yeah, that's it. But you're bringing him for the damage aggro, and he's still like bringing him for the meteorite thing. That's actually fine if you don't have Andrew.
Uh,
As
yeah, I suppose. I do think matchups are kind of important because they are like an indicator of relevant content. So it's nice that he has a challenge sim that he's still useful in, but he doesn't offer that much else outside of that, I think. But yeah, I can see that viewpoint. I still think he's like beats her though.
yeah, that's fine. He's outclassed, but he does his job well enough.
Put him there.
Above where to put him though? Above Ryusai, honestly. At least he's relevant in
No,
some ways.
Syntac needs to be higher. Stop it. Stop it. Okay.
Oh,
What about his variant though? Man, I was trying to
oh,
glaze this thing I released. It's aged so bad. I don't. I
I
don't know.
think did he kill off? I think he's the no. He didn't kill off elemental conditionals. That was Kisaki.
Yeah.
But oh my god, ooh, damage reduction chance, ooh,
Um, out of principle, it would be funny to rate him lower, but I think he just has better stats than everyone in C tier. So I think it's more like him being below his variant or his base form, but like higher than Ryusei, which is funny. Um, yeah, this variant has a lot of issues. he gets fucked by any sort of buff removal, both for like his supporting DPS and also like for himself. Yeah, if the enemy has any sort of buff removal, he just gets like obliterated. Um, his he doesn't have any extra like action economy either. You're kind of stuck in this loop of like spamming S2 and S3 with like no variance. I think like RNG based tanking is just kind of bad anyway in the first place. Like, why would you want to rely on chance to survive a hit? Like, what are you doing? Uh, yeah. Um,
Oh, actually, I want to point out something I'm reading in chat right now. The funny thing about Furlong's Valentine Furlong's hands is that there was actually an error on release. Where I think it was his right hand. The right hand was drawn as a left hand, like the thumb was on the wrong side, and so this is actually like the edited or the fixed version.
oh right, I
You
think
could
I
probably, if
remember
you do some
that.
searching, yeah, if you do some searching, you could probably find like the original art. But yeah, there's actually a mistake on his hands.
Yeah, I think I remember that. That's kind of funny. Anyways, he got slightly better because of Volp's existence, and then that's about it.
I mean, I guess he is like kind of he's part of that speed up skill, but it's like sure, but like it's his damage reduction is very selfish. Like it only applies to him. So
His
mm,
S1 is worthless. It's crazy how little this thing does. 30%
Uh,
attack when he has a base attack stat of 1k. It's crazy.
yeah, I don't really get what's up with this unit. It's like, why are you just like so terrible now? Oh, I guess it's
like
like the defense meta is always like very questionable. And even though I didn't like how Stereo was like defense, he's like actually good and doing shit, you know.
you know, yeah, Stereo has like a bunch of actions on him, so like that makes him better. Actually, Stereo's a very fun comparison because I think they're kind of similar in that they're both tanks that also deal support in some way, but Stereo could do all of that in like one, all in like the same action, all in the same turn, while Furlong has to pivot.
Yeah, Stereo fucking mogs for long right now. It's not even close. Like he actually gets access to like his healing skill and like damage piece for the entire team, and like he breaks the action economy with his extra actions and a follow up. And Furlong is stuck with attack up and good luck every 2 turns. Like okay, sure. Uh, anyways, yeah, I'm putting him between his hero form and Ryusei. Victom, base Victom to be specific. Um,
Hmm. It's like it's
he,
better damage, better damage than Akashi because he's single target.
Hmm.
That's kind of
yeah,
how I see it.
he was like worse off before Alan released, and then when they started to make Berserker an actual archetype, he actually got a lot better, but he is still dependent on uh like those 5-star supports to actually work. In any case, he's basically like Moriyasu, but you know, it's just the damage portion and no utility.
I
Uh,
think it's still
Pretty
very
good
admirable
stats
that he
though.
has like a 340% multiplier, you know, when
yeah,
like a lot of
it
people are
Yeah.
is.
still using pub.
It is quite interesting because his attack stat is actually very high too.
Yeah. So like I don't think that it's like I don't think he's like that bad like nowadays with like Genji and Alan who can like save him. but I think he's like still solid for like a perma unit.
I can see that. I think he's
3.2
like,
attack too. That's like a lot.
I think he's a tier below Toshu and Barrel though.
Mm. Yeah, you have to like put in a lot of effort with him. And it's like centered around these like exact 2 units, and if you don't have them, you're cooked.
Mm,
Well, I mean, I still actually use him for like that tree quest that is really easy nowadays, but he was like the go-to back then
should be
for that
using
quest.
my Donzo instead.
I actually do now.
Pers- Personally, I would actually just put him with Toshu. That's kind of how I see him. Like I know he's kind of a little harder to use, but like
Mm,
that's a lot of damage.
maybe I just think Toshu is a bit more flexible because he has a useful S1.
The
I
thing I
guess,
don't like about his kit is that his S1 can actually kill himself, which is bad.
No, true, yeah. So he doesn't really
yeah,
work with like follow-up attacks, so there is that.
yeah. Well,
I
Toshu
mean,
actually does work with follow-ups because his S1 just
yeah.
applies defense down.
I mean, I don't think people like use Victom at all, but like I don't think people use Victom as like a follow-up attacker, but maybe like if you play it right, it's like fine. Like if you do the follow-up attack and then you intentionally get the burn. I don't know. We shall see.
Mm. Should we consider his S2 to be kind of like a dead skill because he applies defense down to himself, which is actually kind of scary.
I think
Yeah.
it might be interesting if there's a unit who like buffs people when they get debuffs, but yeah. Um it's a problem because we don't have attack buff stacking. So stuff like his and his sidekick, which used to be really good, by the way, until Exio sidekick released, um, are like more dead weight than they really used to be.
Mm, I think his S2 is actually kind of funny if you use it with like S-Star S2 and Zania S2 and just like
Oh,
delete the defense down from him. But yeah, um, I don't think it's a good skill right now. It's gonna challenge Sims where you're kind of lacking, where if your account's like newer, you might be lacking better buffs, but in like actual relevant content, yeah, you're not gonna be using this
yeah.
a lot.
The lack of like attack buff stacking means that those aren't really good skills anymore. It's a shame because I actually think they're like quite good in like back then, not now.
Mm, yeah.
I think it
Anyways,
would be interesting though if they do follow up with that idea I mentioned of like being rewarded for debuffing yourself.
they might. They are expanding archetypes a lot, so who knows? Uh, do you think he's above like Festival Game or?
Um, I mean, Gami's just mid.
Yeah, but he's also kind of just kind of easy to use, which is nice. Just like debuff and then S3.
Yeah, I actually use Festival Game a lot because I don't think I have a better water DPS to be honest. It's kind of
That's
sad
that's depressing. You have Astar.
for AoE,
Oh,
but
I guess. Well, there's only like two people for that, anyways. I'll put him below uh, Game's
Hmm.
variant, just because I think,
Yeah. Oh.
just because I think the effort that you need to put into him kind of evens out the gains from like having really high damage on a single target. Okay, what about its variant though? I know some
this
people have been.
variant's weird because nobody has them up in my support list, so I don't know. And
I only have like
Uh,
one, and it's like kind of incomplete, but at least they have the skill tree, so that's like the only way I could test it out.
I will say though
I
that like I like his passive that's basically free damage, right? And you can get a lot of you easily. 35k is kind of high, but like it's the same thing as like Bard Donzo, and that's really the problem is that like you look at this guy and it's like why shouldn't I be using Bard Donzo instead, right?
Yeah. Um, I did try him out on some support lists, and I can see that he is a very comfy unit to use. He doesn't really push your damage that far though, but he does kind of cover most view costs, which is very nice. And he's very easy to use, so I can see why some people like using him. But I don't see him getting placed any higher than A plus tier.
Yeah, that's fine. I do think he's good, but not Bard Donzo good, but like he has a very comfortable loop where you just spam S1, S2, and like that's fun. You're not gonna use his S3 though, really. It's like I
Yeah,
mean silence is nice, I guess. Expect
yeah,
that
I
in
think
emergencies, but yeah.
his S3 is still kind of a meme, but I think uh in this current meta where we have a lot of people who are kind of view hungry, it's nice to have someone who can, you know, actually cover those costs with not too much commitment. But he does severely get outclassed by Bartonzo's existence. So yeah. Is that it for him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I think he's just like view gen, get free damage, flex is fairly unique, even though I still think it's a kind of shitty status.
I
I think his
mean,
S1's kind of annoying due to the VP requirement, but whatever,
yeah, I can
you
see
know.
that. At least it works in tandem with his view aura that increases your damage.
Mm.
All right. Let's talk about Kyoichi base form.
I think he's like top of C tier or like bottom of B tier, to be honest, just because it's like cheap S3 is like 200%. I don't think he's good, but like, you can also use S2, which is, fun fact, worse than his sidekick. But yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy. I think.
it's literally like a three-line skill kit. It's like not good, but it's like also just fine for like, the state of the game when it released.
Yeah, for me, he's at the bottom of B tier just because I put Monomasa in C tier. He's like killing himself, and this guy does a little less damage, but he's not killing himself, so I think that's an upside. Yeah.
Better it should be better than setback. I'm just saying it's like I don't know.
Be nice to
At least
him.
okay, well he has to be better.
No,
Still need to read Syntax FN. I
I'm
didn't know
taking,
that he was like 50, according to you.
I'm taking a stand. Kyoichi has fucking dog shit speed. Get out of here with that. That's my
He
one
has like
aggro
no
against.
conditional. He has no conditionals on his S3 and
Okay,
it's
but he only
5k
works with
with a
one
good attack stat.
He only works with one archetype, and at least you
Well,
can cope with
you can
Sentak being
wheelchair him into
burned.
anything.
No, no, that's 200% damage. That's not happening. Ugh. God, I hate this unit. Yeah, it's just fucking S3 do damage. Okay, go next. All right. At least his variant's more interesting, I think, because uh, he's like kind of follow up oriented, and his skill tree makes it so that he can do his like S2 loop with S3 and not lose out on like too much damage. It's actually kind of funny when you use him with like Stereo and Jailbreak Obsidius because uh, Obsidius's tag, his explosion can like trigger the follow up from Kyoichi at the end of a turn, which is kind of funny. You can do like end of the turn drive by.
No,
Uh,
I actually didn't know that.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I would put him up, I think, around A plus tier. I think he was my pick for like the epitome of A plus in general. He has good action economy. He has decent utility. He does good damage. Um, he doesn't. His damage isn't as high as other people above him though, and his utility is somewhat replaceable. Even if he is like the one of the more ideal targets for follow up spam because it's like a 110% on his S1. But yeah, he's a solid unit, I think.
I think the weird thing about this variant is that I think because of his S3, they were like, we're gonna make Hyde very weird. Or like they're very careful not to like make Hyde like givable easily so that people
Yeah,
won't
I
abuse his S3. And I kind of
yeah,
don't
because
like
I
that.
wanted to. I also wanted to point that out because like I guess the follow up, it's like it technically he has no conditionals, so like he's like technically the only person in the game who has like theoretically infinite actions. If you
Yeah.
can somehow loop hide some over and over.
And I think they're very aware of that, so they're very careful to make Hyde very like shitty, like or like very rare, you know?
Yeah, I
You
think
killed an
it's
entire
on.
status, and I think that's very funny.
I think it's on Volp's sidekick, isn't it? Like 20% for hide.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, it's like 20% for hide at the start of the turn. So it actually is possible for him to get infinite actions. But
Oh my god.
yeah,
But it's like you have to like
you have to
yeah.
really roll for it.
Ooh.
But
And it's like
it might be really
well
funny in like unexplored where you get the 50% proc rate thing.
mm, yeah. Because technically you can run that and like two proc rate passives and that's like 70% plus, right?
Hmm.
Mm, interesting.
Yeah.
So
All
it's
right.
like 90%. And I think there's actually the MC luck passive in that unexplored. So it could be 100%.
I don't know if
And
those
the
luck
only
passives can like be found with each other though. Like I think if you get locked out of them when you pick one.
oh okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's technically a 90% chance. And then the only problem is that you need view. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm,
So
They they did add Moriyasu's sidekick, which is hide to the user for one turn for 4K view, which is like it's not relevant. I just point that out because I was like I'm kind of surprised they brought back hide, even though
yeah, it's
they
very
brought back
rare.
hide like that. But
yeah,
yeah,
I'm trying to
And I'm
figure out.
pretty sure he's the reason that Hyde is like very weird.
I could see it. Yeah. So is this rating fine? Like A plus tier, maybe like behind Styria.
Yeah, I'm like
that's
biased
fine.
against Mentaiko, but Kyoichi's like solid, I think, for like 5 stars. He's not like when he got his skill tree, people are like, "Oh yeah, this is good." Like I see what's happening. These other skill trees, like the ones we recently got, it's more like, "Huh?"
Well, it kind of helps that Kyoji wasn't really that bad to begin with. It just wasn't that appealing because, you know, there were a lot of new
Yeah,
shiny releases, but he didn't really fall off that hard because he was one of the first people who had like extra action economy. So,
yeah,
Okay, when they announced he was getting a skill tree, I was unironically kind of scared that there would be some weird exploit that he could get infinite hide. Like that was the genuine worry for me because I did not want him to be relevant. I did not want to see him in like team comps over and over again. But luckily that did not happen. I didn't say anything though because I didn't want to like jinx it. But that was a that was a concern for me back in the day.
uh, we are in the good timeline. damn. Yeah, we're not even gonna reach Goro at this rate. uh, we can maybe we can end at like Showen's variant. You guys gonna do that?
Maybe. Let's see.
That's like four
The
more
same
people to talk
shit.
about.
Yeah. Unless
Unless
we
you want
want
to
to
end.
talk about Summer Toshu.
Ooh, actually, let's see. Let's see how long it takes.
Your
Well,
other husband, Marfic.
let's get Flamey out
Oh,
of the way
okay.
first.
Flamey Base is an interesting unit because I think like on release, I don't think people are really using her that much. And now the only reason why you see her appear is like, okay, you're gonna spam burn. I see what's happening.
Yeah, she applies burn for 2 turns, which is actually pretty impressive. And it's at a decent rate of 60% too. So she's not the worst burn applicator. The issue is that she doesn't really do a whole lot else. Her S2 would be nice if it was more consistent, but it's not. Instead, her S3 got the Evo, where it doesn't really do anything except for making you go view positive with it and doing like tickle damage.
It's a
Uh,
fucking tickle hit of 60% when her attack stat is like 1.6k.
yeah.
There's
I
no
mean,
damage to Eugen skill.
Yeah, I'm just not really sure what to think of her kid, to be honest. It kind of feels like it just is a burn unit, and I guess it's better than Akashi because at least like she can apply, she can view gen, which is like another utility aside from burn. So that's just kind of how I see it.
uh, yeah. I think she's like around Akashi, maybe, probably below him. I think I'll put her like above Summer Akashi just because her S2 can be kind of impactful if it does roll that attack down. But yeah, that is a burn bot.
I will consider her better than Akashi because you don't have to skill tree her to get the same proc rate as burn.
Okay, dude, what do you think, Milk?
I think like if you see Akashi's, if you see Flamie in any way, you already know what's happening. It's just he's using her S1. Her S2 and S3 don't exist. It's just S1 spam. Like you see it in the sidekick passive, you see it in the sidekick active, you just know it's like, okay, this is a burn team. There's not really much else to say. And like two
Okay.
turn at 60% is like I think it's the best
Yeah, I
for like
think
these
so too.
S1s.
It's probably the best that they have right now, so that's why you always see her. Okay, speaking of burn bots, we have a variant, which is actually pretty good, I think. Uh, well, pretty good in like burn standards. The issue with uh Festival Flamier is that her double S2 is combo dependent for some reason, and everything else she does is just like either burn or like a conditional like use this if you see buffs on the enemy. So to see it tied with combo is quite strange to say the least. Uh, it is quite funny to see it work though, because like I don't think we have anyone who does like AoE burn besides I think Suhail, but like that's fucking Suhail, you know?
Yeah. I like her S3 because it's niche, but it's in like the actual like accessible niche, not like Sui's where their thing is just like it's like 13k. This one's a reasonable 8. Hers, Flamir's is a reasonable 8k, and it applies defense down for 3, which is actually nice.
Mm.
But
Isn't that like
again, it goes in. It
Yasuhiko
cycles
S2?
back into. Hmm?
Isn't that like Yasuhiko S2?
Yeah.
Who like nobody uses?
It's, yeah. No one really uses it, but like it's nice.
I think every
It's a good effect, but like, but the issue is like we cycle back into the original problem with Sui, where it's like buff removal is very niche and not really relevant. So
yeah. Actually, I think I forgot to put her in the tier list too. Oops.
Oh, I said both flame A's. Never mind. Um, yeah, I actually try to use her a bit. Like, I tried to use her with some like stupid ass like X Jancer AoE explosion due to his passive. With the double hit. It sucked. So yeah, I think her S2 is interesting, and like you can do a double AoE, and then if she has like some hit passive, she can try like roll for aim and stuff, aim and defense down. But yeah, the combo gate just makes it very gimmicky. And I don't know if I would say she's like very, very good, but I think she's like interesting as like a meme.
Yeah. I think I was trying her in like some AoE content with like Summer Yohak and especially on Sir just to see like her AoE burn and explosion and like doing all the splash damage. And it was fun, but it was also very unpractical.
Yeah, like I think she just pops up for like if you see her on a team, it's just a meme. It's like not anything legit. So like honestly, she's just in the role of like playing this aim and defense down bot, with Grigori sidekick passive.
Mm,
And that's probably not that interesting. Um, so maybe like B tier or something.
yeah.
Because I don't think she's like anybody is actually playing with her like legitimately.
Yeah, I put her above base Furlong just because I do think her S3 is a bit more practical than, Furlong only existing for one challenge sim.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts,
I
Arch?
got confused. I got confused
uh
and thought that was her base, right?
Yeah,
Her base form in the
they have
icon
the
because
same
of the
looking
pose.
pose.
Yeah.
I would put her under Furlong, but under above his variant, because I think just since buff removal is niche, I think that just makes her more niche than Furlong, who's more applicable to more content. So
One quest where he's good. Okay. Uh, okay. Uh, all right. Let's do. Let's talk about Shoin, base Shoin with the skill tree.
Mm, he's interesting because I don't know if he's good. Like I
Um,
know we could use him in the quartz quest just to like fill up Okitaka's shit, but
yeah,
like I don't really know if he's like actually useful like outside of it.
I think he's mid. His entire archetype is kind of mid, I think.
I think he's kind of a mess. But like honestly, I'm kind of the same as Milk. I don't know if he's good. He just does a lot, and like it's just a big question mark for me.
So you're not
I
gonna use
think
his
like
S3 because Kane or Kane's does it better than him. Uh, even though it does apply Vertigo, you just Kane's just way better at that. Uh, his S2 is it's interesting, but it's also a mess because you usually don't want your DPS to take that much damage, and even in the case where you use him with like Berserker DPS, it's not that ideal. Uh, I don't know, because it applies like defense up, right? but you kind of don't want that. You want like alternative like forms of damage mitigation rather than just a raw defense up. That's like because all of them play around like lower HP thresholds. Uh,
Forgot this guy had a passive. Fuck me.
yeah.
He
Um,
is Engrave Simulator.
I think the thing that's like also kind of weird to me is that like now that now that I'm like rereading the counter thing, I was using this guy with like Akashi just to like proc more burns. I think that he's basically just boils down to like follow up action but shittier for the counter.
Oh yeah. I could see
Right? It's
that.
just an S1, but you have to like get the enemy to hit you, which is like, fine in the sense that it's like guaranteed with the taunt and stuff, right? But it's like, why not just cast the S1 with like somebody else? Like, I don't know, like base Jansar. Like, it's
I'm
not an S2 that's like
I'm
cost 5k. Maybe that's fine. I don't know.
I think it's
I'm
he feels
mm,
better when he has the roll passive up with the like
yeah.
a bonus. Yeah. Because you get two procs of his counter skill. But at
I'm
a at a base level, he's quite mediocre.
yeah. I'm kind of annoyed that like his counter only outlasts one time while his provocation stuff lasts two turns. So
Mm.
like they're stuck with taunt. They're stuck with taunt for longer than they can actually counter.
Maybe
Uh,
like you're supposed to use this with like somebody you can extend actions. I don't know, like fucking Summer Asada, but I don't know if that
I
works.
tried this with Christmas Norihito, and it was fucking terrible. It's probably better on Summer Sada, yeah. But outside of
Because it
that,
is like three buffs, and Summer Asada has the after buff thing. Like, I don't know. It's like
yeah, I'd be okay with putting this thing in like B tier. Um, like maybe because he is like kind of used for quartz farming sometimes, which is a fine niche with like Jobbik Okitaka. Uh, but mm, does he provide the same account value as like base Burrow? I don't know.
I
No.
think he's like around Game, base Game,
Sure.
like maybe worse.
Okay. I can see that.
Because
uh
like
I will
kind of uses
agree.
S3 and his S2 is questionable. It's like I don't know. It's not like I don't use them. It's just like I just don't know what value he provides.
Yeah, makes sense. Speaking of questionable value, we have his variant.
You mean no
Ooh.
value? B tier.
Ooh.
No, shut up. He has um the funny S2.
Hide.
He has the Jailbreak
Oh,
Obsidious energy. Remember when I wheel trade his ass in versus Plessy? The 3 turn?
does this
Oh
count
right,
with like
that's a
Scar?
Yes,
Like
it counts with Scar, it counts with bullet hole. So it is
every stack?
yeah, every stack.
well, it's not debuff turns, it's just debuffs, so Scar only counts for one.
I'm pretty sure Scar counts as well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways, um he's Senthak too, I think. He is Senthak with easier conditions. That's about it.
The
But he
120 to
does
60% gives me the fucking Donzo trauma.
okay. At least I know how to work for it though.
No, honestly, uh use and just like mid S1 has S2 is like I will only focus on his S2 for judgment. That's basically my call here. But even that just means he's just pure DPS, no utility. He just deals damage and that is it.
I guess he's fast.
Yeah, he's P as fuck. uh, I don't. Yeah, I wish he gets a skill. I hope he gets a skill tree soon, but it is rough out here. I think he barely makes it into B tier, just because you know you don't have to commit too hard for his damage, and if you do,
No, I think B is too high.
no, I think
People only talk about him to like say he's shit.
I don't know. I think he's better
basically.
than Mokdai and Akashik.
Oh, I actually okay, I will agree with that, but I don't know if it's like B tier worthy.
I think Akashi with burn actually is better.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
you can at least do 10% damage with burn. I
no.
don't know what
Don't
I don't
see.
know what's
Hey,
showing.
hey, he has 10% extra damage for each target enemy's debuff. That's something. There you go.
Wow.
I don't know. This kid's really painful to look at. I don't know how much I can defend this one.
Okay, fine. We
I
can
think it's
just
time
move
to
on to
drop the C.
Toshu.
Yay, we made it to Summer
Yeah, well,
Toshu.
we already ranked base Toshi, so it's time to move on to summer.
Uh, I think in my OG tier list, I put him like right next to Jailbreak Okitaka.
Uh, put him personally, he's just like he's baseline DPS. Just put him right next to like Barrel.
Really?
Yeah. Well, actually, how much does Barrel do? Let me check.
It's
Barrel 70 to
140.
140.
Yeah.
You put
So
them
like
next to each other. They're the same unit, basically. Like
yeah. Summer
technically
Toshu is
easier.
basically just the free 140. Which is like
Yeah.
actually meta defining at the time. Like
Yeah.
not that great right now.
Hmm.
It's a yeah. It's like um. I don't really have that much to say about it. It's just a super simple kit. Simple kit. It's like have a lot of view, and then you get to move up in the timeline, and then you do damage. I think he's better than Barrel because it's a freer condition. So in that sense, he's like better, but it's like they're the same unit. They're both light. They're both AOE. They're both 140%. But Toshu's better by Barrel by a little.
Mm, I actually think there's an argument to be made about him being a tier higher, just because he is, one, he's element neutral, but also he kind of functions in follow-up based teams. And Barrel doesn't really have that same luxury, I think.
Is it
Mm,
because it's S1 and upgrades to 100?
Yeah, so it's like 10% less than VQ UG, but it is element neutral, so I think that kind of evens out its usage.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that does exist. Well,
The other thing is
yeah,
that you don't have to work too hard for his 140% multiplier, whereas Barrel needs to like invest into combo, and combo sucks. So with Toshi, you can just like use, better amps basically, and he has access to better supports in that sense. But that's just my
I
opinion.
mean, I guess it's fine if Xmas Reiki is in the same tier as Summer Toshu.
I'll put Ricky down again. I don't want to see him this high.
Oh,
Man, this tier list is fucking weird.
I don't know. It's weird putting him. I don't know. It's weird putting him. Uh, I don't know. I still say Barrel tier. Like I know he has that follow up synergy, but uh, I
okay,
guess you could
let's
just
go
move
with the
him
Toshu then.
above Summer.
Okay, but Arch, look at the tier list right now, and look at like the thing that the fucking toothpick that Toshi has, and it's like connecting to Christmas Reiki's fur. It's they're meant to be together.
Is it? No, I can kind of see it. That's kind of funny. I'll leave it like that.
Yeah. Or we can just put both of them down if you want.
No, okay, no, nah, keep it.
What?
Christmas Reiki doesn't go down. Doesn't deserve to be in like B plus. It's not that bad.
Okay. All right. Do you want to end the stream here? Because we're gonna the next person up is Marfic.
Yeah, I feel like Marvik's kind of funny to start off next stream with because we just get to immediately get to start cracking jokes. So I think that'll be
Okay.
like a nice warm up
Sure.
for our next stream.
Sure. I suppose. Yeah, that makes sense. And I did
Okay.
not expect us to talk this long about people like fucking Crown.
I'm saying you gotta move on. He touched like 20% of the cast, maybe.
Well,
We're
maybe by the
closer to
time we're
30.
finished, translation will come out.
We're just kind of close to 30. I think we were getting in the groove of things, you know.
Yeah.
So we should be faster next week if we do it next week, rather.
Okay.
All right. So, all right. This is what we have so far. I'll take a screenshot of it later. But yeah, thank you all for joining us on this trailer stream. And I'm not gonna make you guys say goodbye unless you want to, but yeah. Yeah, this is my first stream. Kind of awkward, but I'm getting used to it. So thanks for being here. All right. Have a good night, everyone. It's a 10-hour
Bye bye.
series. Oh no. Maybe,
Probably.
maybe, yeah. Might even be 12 if we're
Honestly,
unlucky. It could be 12 if we
it's
just
like
like
3 hours now.
do
12.
sidekicks. Yeah.
Oh,
Psychic tier list. Oh, that should actually blow out. We can. Well, maybe that's like
I
2
think tier
streams. I
lists
don't
would be
know.
terrible. I'd have to read. People do again.
Yeah, honestly, I don't remember actives that much. I remember like 2/3 of the passives.
You're not gonna say goodbye? Okay. No, I was talking to like an Arch because whenever we do an Arch stream, he makes us say goodbye at the end, and it's a little, it's a little cheesy, but yeah. All right. Have a good